Game number 10 of the Cape Cod League season for Hyannis, which sits at 4-4-1, will take place here in McKeon Park against the Falmouth Commodores at 5th place in the Western Division, right behind Hyannis in 4th at 2-7. First pitch is slated for 6 o'clock, but you can catch all the post or the pregame coverage that you need right here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network leading up to the big game today. Good evening, everybody. My name is Chris Lucey. I'll be bringing you Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame live from the broadcast booth up here at McKeon Park in advance of a Western Division matchup between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Falmouth Commodores on Red Jersey Friday. This program is brought to you by Chatham Bars Inn. The Beach House Grill at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa is the perfect spot for a seaside lunch or an evening clam bake. A proud member of the leading hotels of the world, Chatham Bars Inn. So we're back here in the booth, and there are a couple of new faces to say hello to on this Harbor Hawks squad, namely Brady Lindsley and Tommy Jew. Tommy Jew coming out of the University of California at Santa Barbara. A true center fielder, which Coach Gassman likes, seeing as how he's had to kind of use a rotation of guys in that center field spot so far in the season. And although Barefoot and Rivera have done well in those spots, they're not natural center fielders quite like Jew is. And Jew playing for UC Santa Barbara this year, slashed an impressive 313, 387, and 456. So he comes in with a hot bat and provides a good glove in the outfield as well for Hyannis. So big things to come from him. And transitioning back to the team that we've had so far here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network, allowing the big inning has hurt the Harbor Hawks pretty often this season already. Last night in Chatham, the Anglers played into that narrative a bit themselves for the Harbor Hawks, who had given up a 3-run first inning to the A's, and it looked like the big inning was going to come back and bite Hyannis once again. However, the Harbor Hawks were able to scrape together 2 runs in the 4th and then another run in the 5th and tie the game up going into the 6th inning. However, unfortunately for Hyannis, Mother Nature stepped in just as this one started heating up. And we'll bring you some highlights now, courtesy of the Hyannis Harbor Hawks SoundCloud page.
Good evening, everyone. It is Thursday night here in Chatham as the Harbor Hawks are heading off against the Chatham Anglers. I'm Rob Marcello. I'm joined by Chris Lucey. That is a torching fly ball to center field, and that is gone. A 1-out home run puts Chatham up 1-0 in the bottom of the first. Pitches in. That is a ground ball, gets right through the first and second baseman. A run will score. It is now 2-0 Chatham. Runners on first and second, still with 1 out. Roth with the pitch. That is a fly ball to left field. Eric Rivera runs in and gets it. He does. The runner's going to come home. He throws, and that run will score. And a pass ball will advance the man on second, and there'll be a runner at third with 2 out. It is now 3-0 Chatham early in the bottom of the first. Runners still at second and third, 2 out. Pitches in. That is a ground ball right through the middle. 1 run scores. Another run could score. It is now 3-2. Chatham, as they cut into this lead, a 2-out RBI single right up the middle for Lindsley. And a great way to start his Harbor Hawk career. His first game to be able to get 2 RBIs. Count 2-2. Pitches in. A liner out to center field. Center fielder has it. He'll catch a run, does score. And the score is now tied 3-3. Hyannis been able to come back. And runners in the corners with 2 outs.
Beyond the outfield fence. Now the payoff pitch. Cut on and hit out into a foggy night sky in the left center field gap for a base hit. Torkelson turns around first. He goes into second. Relay throw in from Hauber in right center field. Not in time. Torkelson into second base, standing with a 2-out double in the bottom of the 5th. back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. It's official. Rob, this game ending in a 3-3 tie after a fog delay takes effect in the top of the 6th inning and essentially holds this game until the home plate umpire, Joe Peters, completely called it off. Both teams in a handshake line down the first base line in front of home plate as well now. And that was how it all went down in Chatham last night. The final score 4-4, or 3-3, excuse me. And after 5 full innings of baseball, they called it off, a tie between the Harbor Hawks and the Chatham A's. Chris Lucey joining you back here in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network broadcast booth. Dani Terzer, now our sideline reporter, is alongside me here on Hyannis Harbor Hawks Pregame Live. And Dani, you've had the chance to spend a lot of time with this team down by the dugout. So from game 1 to game 10, you've seen this team progress. What have been the biggest differences you've noticed from that initial game and now this team a fourth of the way into the season?
Well, I think the biggest thing, Chris, is the nerves that were present in all of these players the first game of the season. New routine out here on the Cape, a lot of them for the first time. And hopefully for those that have been here for a few weeks now, things are getting settled. They're getting into their games. They're feeling more comfortable here. Hopefully those nerves are fading. So I think that's one of the biggest things that we can expect to change from that first game against these guys.
And Coach Gassman mentioned to you earlier today that he's seen some guys really emerge at this point as vocal leaders on this team. Who did he point out to you?
Well, he said it's tough, first of all. You got a lot of guys coming from different schools, so it's tough for people to step up into that leadership role. With that said, he did point out both of his catchers, Pedro Pages and Kyle Wilkie. He also mentioned Davis Wenzel. And he's seen from them leadership qualities in the way that they play, but also in their encouragement towards their teammates. Whether they're having a good at-bat or a bad at-bat, they're out there cheering their teammates on, which Coach thinks is really important. But he did point out that the true leaders come out when things are going bad. So we'll stay tuned for that and see who really shines through in those moments.
Hyannis in 4th place right now, playoff contention, so things are looking pretty good. Dani Terzer in the booth with me, Chris Lucey, on Hyannis Harbor Hawks Pregame Live, getting you ready for a 6 p.m. first pitch between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Falmouth Commodores, a battle of 4th and 5th place, respectively, here in the Western Division of the Cape League. And Dani, you mentioned Kyle Wilkie and Pedro Pages, catchers for the Harbor Hawks. Appropriate that they take leadership roles, and they have, so that's a big plus for Hyannis. But Brady Lindsley, a 3rd catcher, just fresh off the plane from the University of Oklahoma, came in and played in his first game yesterday, had a great game, had a 2 RBI hit, and you were able to talk to him earlier today. What could you gauge from his mood? Do you think that he's kind of relaxed and gotten those jitters out of the way too?
Well, I think in certain ways, if you look at him, I don't think you could tell that he's new to this team. He's talking to a lot of the guys. He seems to fit in very well in that regard. But I think he was really looking for a first full game in his debut so that he could get into the swing of things, which unfortunately with uncontrollable weather, he wasn't able to get. So we'll be looking from him to a few more times to get into that rhythm, and he should have it all figured out. As he showed in the first game, it certainly went his way.
Well, the Oklahoma backstop, and you did have a minute to catch up earlier today. We have the audio from that interview, so let's give it a listen here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
I'm here with Brady Lindsley. Brady, you joined this Harbor Hawks team a few weeks into the season, and then your first game out there gets called early because of the fog. How do you overcome some of those obstacles and get into a rhythm quickly?
Well, whether it's rain or fog or whatever it is, you just got to take it to the next day and just keep playing ball.
You got 2 at-bats before the game was called, but that didn't stop you from getting started quickly last night. You had a hit and 2 RBIs. How would you grade that debut performance?
I thought it was okay. I just happened to get a ground ball that went through, It wasn't like a great swing or anything, but, I'm obviously happy about it. Hopefully I can just do it again today.
Thanks, Brady.
Yep.
Dani Terzer, our sideline reporter, taking care of business down there on the field for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network team. Dani out of the booth now, but the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Falmouth Commodores inching closer and closer to first pitch here at McKeon Park as the minutes tick by. It's 5:45 right now. At the top of the hour, we will have the first pitch, and we'll take a bit of a break at the moment. But coming up here on the Hyannis Arbor Hawks Digital Network, I'll have a word with our first half play-by-play man, Lyle Goldstein, who will give us a look at tonight's starting pitchers. Hyannis is trotting out Travis Marr from Clemson and Matthew Cantorino due up for the Falmouth Commodores on the other side to start things off in the bottom of the first inning. And we'll take a quick break here, but stay tuned. Plenty of great things coming your way here on the Hyannis Arbor Hawks Digital Network, and all of it available on our social media at Hyannis Arbor Hawks on Twitter and on SoundCloud as well. You can just type in Hyannis Arbor Hawks and get all of your highlights, interviews, and more stuff like that from Dani Terzer coming soon as well. First pitch coming just in a couple minutes here on the Hyannis Arbor Hawks Digital Network. We'll be back after a break.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Back inside the broadcast booth on the Hyannis Arbor Hawks pregame show, Chris Lucey, now joined by the first half play-by-play man for the Hyannis Arbor Hawks, Lyle Goldstein. Lyle, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing all right, Chris. How about you?
Doing quite well, thanks. Hyannis and Falmouth getting close to first pitch. It's starting off at 6. We're at 5:47 right now, and Hyannis is sending Travis Marr out to the bump for the top of the first inning, and his first outing was a little bit rocky. What does he need to do tonight to improve?
Well, Chatham really knocked him around in that first game over at Veterans Field. He couldn't get out of those first or second innings unscathed. Really, those big hits taking advantage of him after letting a few guys on base. So if you're Travis Marr, I think the biggest key for him is going to be that first inning, maybe even put up a 1-2-3 spot on what's been a struggling Falmouth Commodores offense. That's going to get him going. It's going to give him some confidence and hopefully prolong his start a little bit more tonight.
Travis Marr took the loss in that game against the A's. 3 innings pitched, 8 hits, 8 earned runs. He's looking for a bounce-back performance tonight against the Falmouth Commodores, who send Rice's Matthew Cantorino to the mound. What are some of his strengths, Lyle?
Well, I think the biggest thing is his ability to put the K up in the score box. I mean, he's struck out 227 batters in 2 seasons at Rice. This guy's got a good fastball that runs a little bit, tops out at about 93 miles an hour, also has a slider and a changeup to go along with it. So if you're the Hyannis offense, this is a guy who clearly gets better with time. He ages like fine wine. So with one of these pitchers, you're going to have to jump on him early and score some runs in the first couple frames of the ball game.
He's Lyle Goldstein. I'm Chris Lucey. You're listening to the Hyannis Arbor Hawks pregame show here on the Hyannis Arbor Hawks Digital Network. First pitch just under 15 minutes away here from McKeon Park between the 2 Western Division foes. And Lyle, you mentioned that first game against the Chatham A's where Travis Marr struggled was a tough loss for Hyannis, a 10-1 ball game at the end. But we also heard the highlights from last night's game against the A's earlier in this broadcast, a 3-3 tie due to fog. Now, Hyannis wasn't able to reap the benefits of a full win there, but still a big show of confidence for Hyannis with the win, a little bit of revenge against the Chatham A's. How do they roll that momentum into tonight against the Commodores, a team that beat Hyannis in the season opener?
I think it just goes back to swinging the bats, like I mentioned, and timely hitting is going to be key. We've seen Hyannis leave a lot of guys on base, especially within the course of this week, where they left 12 on base earlier against the Katuitt Kettleers. So after that 3 spot that they put up on the Anglers in the 5th inning last night, I think that shows that despite it getting later and later in the ballgame, they can still put up runs. However, on a struggling offense like the Commodores, the earlier you can put them up tonight, the better.
Lyle, I'll let you continue your prep and get ready for the rest of this ball game. Thank you so much for joining me on the pregame show. Lyle Goldstein, tonight's first half play-by-play man, trying to watch Hyannis come back and get some revenge against the Falmouth Commodores, who beat the Harbor Hawks in McKeon Park in the opener of the season, 10-4. Tough way to start off the season, but Hyannis has turned things around since then, standing at 4-4-1 on the young campaign, whereas their counterparts in the Falmouth Commodores have sputtered out of the gate since. They've only won 1 game in their past 8, as they stand at 1-7. And we'll take a quick look around the league before we send this to a quick break, and then we give it to today's first half play-by-play man, Lyle Goldstein, and his color partner, Robert Marcello. Looking around the league as things stand right now. Out in Stony Brook Field, the Brewster Whitecaps lead the Cotuit Kettleers 1-0. Cotuit just above Hyannis in second place, tied with Bourne at 12 points. So Brewster possibly doing Hyannis a favor, as Brewster did Hyannis a big favor over the weekend as well, losing 2 games against the Harbor Hawks in a doubleheader right here at McKeon Park. Over at Red Wilson Field in Yarmouth, the Yarmouth Dennis Red Sox and the Harwich Mariners just underway, still knotted at 0 as things stand in the bottom of the second inning. Over at Veterans Field in Chatham, the Bourne Braves, who sit at second place, tied with Cotuit in the Western standings with 12 points, are facing off against the A's, who, of course, fell victim to a fog delay with the Harbor Hawks last night, a 3-3 tie at the end of 5 innings. Austin Pope towing the rubber for the Bourne Braves, and Jason Wark set to go for Chatham. And then down at Eldridge Park, a future opponent for the Harbor Hawks after tomorrow's matchup with the Harwich Mariners, the Orleans Firebirds send Andrew Abbott out to the mound against the Wareham Gatemen, who still command the Western Division with a 14-point showing of force in the season's first 10 games. They lead Cotuit and Bourne, tied for second, by 2 points. So we're coming to the end of the pregame show here. I'll toss back to the play-by-play team for tonight, but be sure to keep your ears peeled for me. I'll be back in the 4th inning with another Around the League update, and I will also be back for post-game coverage here on this very broadcast, and then on our YouTube page with the video recap show, Hawk Talk. You can catch that on Hyannis Harbor Hawks YouTube every day after every game, and you can catch highlight reels, interviews, and more on our SoundCloud page. Be sure to give it a look, the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on SoundCloud. Signing off, I'm Chris Lucey. Thank you so much for joining me on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks pregame show today. We'll have baseball for you very soon, less than 10 minutes before first pitch between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Falmouth Commodores in game number 10 of the Cape Cod League season.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Media copyright. Magic Works 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 Media copyright.
Time for lineups and first pitch on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
After the incoming fog left last night's contest in a stalemate and therefore clouding an opportunity for the Harbor Hawks to jump back over 500 on the road in Chatham, they return home to McKeon Park tonight to square off against the Falmouth Commodores, who stomped over Hyannis 10-4 in the season opener, but currently sit at last place in the Western Division, having lost 5 consecutive games. Hyannis looks to put opening night in the rearview mirror with hopes of moving to 5-4-1 on the summer. Hyannis Harbor Hawks baseball starts right now. Hi, everybody. I'm Lyle Goldstein, joined alongside Robert Marcello here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Rob, these are two struggling offenses for the time being, both teams in great need of a win. What's going to be the biggest key for the Hawks to pick up a victory here at home?
I think to get up early in the game, I think to be able to give Mars some confidence early in the game. Anytime you're a pitcher and you see your team score runs in the first or second inning, gives you confidence later on in the game.
Hyannis counters with right-hander Travis Marr out of Clemson University, who had a rocky first start to his summer out at Veterans Field against the Chatham A's, where he went just 3 innings, giving up 8 earned runs on 8 hits and striking out 3. He'll go up against the Commodores for the first time this summer, led off by Clemson shortstop Logan Davidson, a teammate of Travis Marr's during the school year. He'll be followed by Will Brennan, the Kansas State center fielder. Stephen Williams hitting third, the right fielder out of Auburn. Davis Sims in the cleanup spot out of Murray State. He's off to a scorching hot summer for Falmouth. Kyle Stowers in left field out of Stanford. Edward Julian, the Auburn second baseman, hitting 6th. C.J. Schaefer doing the catching tonight out of Western Illinois in the 7th spot. Logan Foster, the Texas A&M product, in the designated hitter spot. And rounding out the 9, Kansas third baseman James Cosentino. Logan Davidson just about set to get things underway at McKeon Park. He quickly steps out of the box. Some of the bullpen contingent making their way into the Falmouth dugout on the first base side. But play is now called. Travis Marr set to go against his college teammate in Davidson. Wind up, and the first pitch is a fastball on the outside corner for strike one. Logan Davidson, 292, 15 home runs, and 73 hits in his year at Clemson in 2018. He takes a fastball just off the zone as the count evens. The Hyannis defense tonight, Davis Wenzel at third, Alec Trella at short, Braden Como at second, and Pedro Pages over at first as an off-speed from Mars in on the outside corner again for a called strike. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the leadoff man in Logan Davidson. Marr looks in and gets his sign, kicks and fires the 1-2, a swing and a foul out of play. The outfield from left to right respectively, Todd Lott out of Louisiana Lafayette, Matthew Barefoot out of Campbell, and in right field, Colin Hall from Georgia Tech. Marr ready, the next 1-2 delivery. Fastball misses away as the count evens. Logan Davidson, despite the strong year at Clemson, comes into the game just 5 for his first 25 on the summer as he fouls one away on a fastball off the netting. The first inning really hurt Travis Marr back in his first start against the Falmouth Commodores. Looking for a bounce back here tonight and a quick first inning. The 2-2 to Davidson. Heater upstairs as the count is now full, 3-2. Chatham scored 10 runs in the first 4 innings in Marr's first start, although he lasted just 3. 3-2 off speed, swing and a miss for strike 3. Travis Marr records his first strikeout of the evening, and there's 1 out for the Harbor Hawks to start off the game in the top of the first.
Great start by Marr. Always being able to get the first batter out in your start really kind of allows the jitters to get down.
Another left-handed hitter set to go for the Commodores, Will Brennan, the Kansas State center fielder. Marr continues from the windup. First pitch, swing and a miss. Looked like he took something off of that one, 0-1. Now Travis starting to work quickly, gets his sign from Pages. That fastball misses away. Travis Marr in his season at Clemson threw 44 2/3 innings pitched, went 6-2, but had a 6.04 ERA. As Brennan swings and sends a chopper over to second, Como fields it off a knee, throws the first in time for the second out of the first.
Marr getting 2 quick outs in the top of the first, trying to get this third out, getting the Harbor Hawks ready to bat, because that's very important.
He'll face 3 straight lefties in this Commodores lineup in the top of the first inning. Now digging in, Steven Williams, right fielder out of Auburn. As he watches the first pitch go by from Marr, it misses away. 1-0 the count. Steven Williams just 1 for 6, only played a couple of games thus far for the Commodores. As he watches a fastball at the knees, first strike 1 and the count evens. Williams and his Auburn Tigers got all the way to a super regional before being down by the Florida Gators, who would later advance to the College World Series, as Travis Marr's breaking ball misses in the dirt. Count now at 2-1, infield playing back with 2 outs. The offering, fastball off the glove of Pedro Pages, and misses the zone. 3-1 the count to the hitter in Williams. Marr's ready with the 3-1. That misses just down for ball 4. First Commodore base runner reaches of the night. And Williams draws a 2-out walk, bringing up Murray State first baseman Davis Sims.
Unable to get a 1-2-3 inning now. His pitch count's going to get a little higher early in this game, because that's what Falmouth is trying to do.
And Travis Marr didn't walk anybody in his first appearance against the A's. So he issues his first free pass of the season as Brennan gets his lead off of first with Brady Lindsley holding him on. As a swing and a miss for strike 1 on a fastball. Pages doing the catching tonight. Brady Lindsley, normally a catcher for the Oklahoma Sooners, manning first base. Travis Marr counters with a breaking ball, touches the outside corner, and the count's 0-2 to the most dangerous hitter in the Commodores lineup. Sims already on the year, a home run, 8 for 28 to start the summer. An 0-2 fastball misses outside for ball 1. He has 2 RBIs to his name. He had 22 multi-hit games in 2018 for Murray State, including 10 games with 3+ hits, as he swings and misses through a slider from Travis Marr, and that will do it for the Commodores in the first. They put 1 on base, but strand him there. A fairly clean first inning for the right-hander Travis Marr out of Clemson. Much different from his first start against Chatham, and he's off to a good start at home at McKeon Park. We'll be back right after this as the Harbor Hawks come to bat for the first time this evening when we get back on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
MusicElf.com. 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 MusicElf.com.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Hyannis set to go on offense in the bottom of the first against Commodore starter Matt Cantorino out of Rice University, as Matthew Barefoot will lead things off, the center fielder out of Campbell, as he walks into the right-handed side of the box, ready to go against the right-hander in Cantorino. He works from the windup, delivers the first pitch as Barefoot swings at it and sends a high pop-up out of play, right up the elevator shaft and behind the press box here at McKeon Park.
Barefoot is a leadoff guy, really trying to be the trendsetter for this team early, be able to get someone on, be able to score early.
Cantorino holding that glove high right at the head level as he kicks and fires the 0-1. Barefoot sends it foul again. The rest of the Harbor Hawks lineup, Braden Como hitting second and playing second out of Rice University. He'll go up against the former teammate in Cantorino. Davis Wenzel hitting third and playing third. Seth Gray in the cleanup spot out of Wright State, doing the designated hitting for the Harbor Hawks tonight. As the 0-2 pitch from Matt Cantorino, another fastball misses high and outside. After Gray, Todd Lott playing in left field out of Louisiana Lafayette. Brady Lindsley making his first start at first base, second of the summer out of Oklahoma. As Matt Cantorino ready with the 1-2. Fastball misses inside. 2-2 the count to Barefoot. And the final third of the order, Pedro Pages doing the catching out of FAU. Colin Hall in the 8th spot playing right field. And Alec Trella rounding out the 9 and playing short. The 2-2 from Cantorino. Breaking ball sent on a high pop-up into short right field. Going back on it, Davis Sims makes an over-the-shoulder catch for out number 1. And Barefoot sat down.
Barefoot just catching the end of the bat. Little kind of blooper out to right field. Was going to be foul, but great stop by the first baseman of the Commodores, being able to rush over, making a back shoulder catch.
Davis Sims, who, as we mentioned in the first inning during his at-bat, had a monster year at Murray State, but doing it with the glove in the early going, making a basket catch for out number 1 in the bottom of the first. Braden Como takes a strike from the starter in Cantorino, quickly behind 0-1. Commodores defense, James Cosentino at third, Logan Davidson at short, Edward Julian at second, and Sims at first, as Como watches an 0-1 fastball miss high and away. From left to right, for the Falmouth Commodores, it'll be Kyle Stowers out of Stanford, Will Brennan from Kansas State, and Stephen Williams out of Auburn. Swing and a miss from Como on a breaking ball from Canarino. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. And behind the plate for the Commodores, C.J. Schaefer out of Western Illinois, who Hyannis saw on opening night back on Tuesday the 12th. The 1-2. Swinging a high pop-up foul down the first base line and out of play. Braden Como sporting a .272 average on this young season. He went 0 for 2 with a walk in last night's game, was stranded at third in his third plate appearance as he sends a high fly ball out to shallow center field. Cruising under it is Will Brennan, and he squeezes it for the second out.
Como taking that low pitch, unable to get any height on it there as it just popped out.
2 quick, easy flyouts for the starter in Matt Cantorino, who is a strikeout machine this season at Rice University and really all of his career. Struck out 116 batters this season, 227 for his 2 seasons combined. As his first pitch from the windup to Davis Wenzel misses low and away. Opponents hit just 188 against the right-hander in this past season. He continues his funky delivery from the windup, but drops a breaking ball into Wenzel as the count evens. He comes set at the belt, kicks and fires with his glove at the neck, and drops in another curveball to Wenzel. 1-2 the count. And now Cantorino starting to work quickly. But Wenzel swings and fouls a fastball back off the netting, and he'll stay alive. Wenzel 5 for 21 on the summer, but has 9 walks to his name. He walked twice in last night's game against the A's. Next pitch from Cantorino, swinging a high fly ball down the left field line. Tracking over is Stowers, but can't get there, and it lands in the bullpen. Wenzel turned on an off-speed pitch from Cantorino, and it looked like he might have cracked that bat right in half, so he's going to go get a new piece of lumber. Wenzel got off to a hot start this summer, has tailed off a little bit as of late, but in the lineup tonight, still sports the 4th highest average among Harbor Hawks starters. Taking a minute to put some pine tar on the new piece of wood. A light brown, maybe even maroon top with a black handle as he makes his way back. Count still 1-2 with 2 outs. Falmouth got nothing in the top half of the first. And Cantorino just 1 strike away from a clean inning. The windup in the 1-2. Fastball high.
Good eye bent by Wenzel. Looked like he was going to be enticed to swing at it, but backs off.
Seth Gray waiting on deck, the left-hander out of Wright State if Wenzel is to reach. He swings and sends another one foul away. Home plate umpire Sam Finn asked for a couple of new baseballs. As Wenzel gets back into the box with a 2-2 count, 2 outs. The high leg kick from Cantorino, and the 2-2's fouled away again. Davis Wenzel fighting off 3 straight pitches. Looking to be the first base runner to reach for the Harbor Hawks this evening.
Wenzel is a very good bat, as you said. Lyle, he definitely is fighting off some pitches.
Baylor product hit over 300 in 2018. As a called strike 3 on a slider right on the outside corner, sits down Wenzel, and Matt Cantorino puts up a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. Travis Marr goes back out to the mound for inning number 2 right after this on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Now back to today's voices of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein and Robert Marcello.
Stanford left fielder Kyle Stowers leading things off for the Commodores in the top half of the second inning, as Travis Marr's first pitch is a fastball in there for a strike.
Marr trying to be quick again in the second as he was very effective in the first.
Walks Steven Williams after recording 2 quick outs, but stranded him at first as he punched out Davis Sims to end the first. As he misses down low, the count now even. Marr starting to work very quickly. The windup in the 1-1, swinging a high chopper foul down the right field line. Kyle Stowers sports a little bit of a flow. Not as much as Davis Wenzel over at third. It's a little shorter than that, but he's got the blonde under that helmet. He swings and fouls one away off the netting. Now we notice because he keeps taking off that helmet, he's done so twice in this at bat and readjusting. Maybe showing it off a little bit to the hometown crowd here. The 1-2 from Marr. Fastball just inside, 2-2 the count. Stowers looking to pick up his third hit of the summer, hitting just 166. He sends a high chopper over to Brady Lindsley at first. He fields it cleanly, flips it underhand to Travis Marr covering first, and that's out number 1 for the Commodores in the second.
Great job by Marr being able to run over, stepping on first, a lot of speed.
Now that's a play that Lindsley likely could have taken himself to the bag if he chose to, but being a guy that hasn't played a whole lot of first base, does most of his work behind the plate at Oklahoma. Saying better safe than sorry. His pitcher in Marr doing a fantastic job getting off the mound quickly and covering the bag. And it was an easy 3-1 putout as the right-hander's first pitch to Edward Julian is a strike on the outside corner. Marr continuing to work quickly from the windup. A high looping slider swung on and missed for strike 2. Boy, did he take something off of that. Now ahead in the count, 0-2. Still 0-0 in the second inning. Misses with a heater just away. Edward Julian, the second baseman out of Auburn. Who led Auburn in home runs this past season as he swings and sends one foul right behind the batter's box. He hit 17 on the year, and keep in mind, this is an Auburn roster with some loaded talent. Not to take anything away from the left-handed hitter in Julian. 17 long balls on the year, also led the team in slugging percentage as he swings and sends a ground ball over to Braden Como at second, fields it cleanly, throws over to Travis Marr covering the bag again, and that's the second out of the inning as Brady Lindsley going off a little bit to his right, thinking he might have had a play on it, but good communication between the second baseman Como and the first baseman Brady Lindsley Como calling him off. Marr covering the bag again. And there's 2 outs and 2 hitters to the Commodores in the second.
The scouts are going to be very impressed with the fact that Marr's speed being able to get over to first. Some pitchers sometimes hesitate on that situation, but a great job by him going right there.
Faces just the second right-hander of the night and catcher C.J. Schaefer as he sends a high towering fly ball out to right field. Colin Hall takes a step back into his left, makes the catch easily settling under it. For the third out of the inning, to Travis Marr through 2 frames has faced just 7 hitters, no hits allowed, and he's off to a really nice start here at McKeon Park. Harbor Hawks come up to bat in the bottom of the second right after this here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
The Wright State designated hitter Seth Gray set to lead things off for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the second. Matt Canarino back out for inning number 2 after a clean first frame, going 1-2-3 against the top third of the Harbor Hawks order. Gray watches a fastball away for ball 1. It is no question that Seth Gray has been the hottest hitter in this Harbor Hawks lineup, hitting .421 on the year with 4 runs batted in. Another fastball from Canarino, taken for a strike, and the count evens. From the windup, the 1-1 misses down in the dirt on a changeup. Seth Gray last night went 1 for 1. He singled, walked, and produced a sac fly through 5 innings at Veterans Field in Chatham. Swings through the next pitch from Matt Canarino and sends it foul on a squiggler down the third base line. So Gray hit just .267 in his 2018 campaign at Wright State, but off to a hot start in his Cape League summer, looking to pick up his 9th hit of the year. Swings and sends a high pop-up into short right center field. Going back as the second baseman. Now coming in, the center fielder Will Brennan makes the catch on the run, and there's 1 out recorded in the bottom of the second for Matt Canarino.
Second time today we've seen a Harbor Hawk take a low pitch and just kind of pop it up, unable to get any air on it, and able power to get on it as well.
3 pop-ups and a strikeout through 4 batters for the Rice right-hander in Matt Cantarino. Todd Lott hitting in the 5th spot for Hyannis tonight, looking to pick up the first hit for his ball club as he swings at the first pitch and sends it foul on the ground down the left field line. Well, Lott, one of these Harbor Hawks hitters that's also on the early struggle bus, 3 for his first 20 as he watches a fastball high. Lott hit .246 at Louisiana Lafayette this season. Had 3 long balls, but just 7 extra base hits. Canarino from the windup. The 1-1 in there for a strike on a fastball. One ball and 2 strikes, the count to Lott. Score still knotted at 0 in the bottom of the second. A breaking ball from Canarino misses high and away. Todd Lott, just one walk on the young summer, had just 2 in his sophomore year at Louisiana Lafayette as he sends a line drive into center field, dropping for a base hit. Right in front of the center fielder, Will Brennan, and Todd Lott's on base for the first time tonight. First hit of the evening for the Harbor Hawks. 1 on with 1 out in the bottom of the second.
Great piece by Lott, being able to catch just inside of his bat, being able to shoot it out to center field. Center fielder unable to come and get it. Harbor Hawks have their first lead of the day, or first hit of the day, sorry.
Lott saw a fastball up in the zone from Canarino and went right after it, scorching it into right center field. Brady Lindsley digs in from the left-handed side. It'll be his first time seeing Canarino as Lott gets a short lead off of first. First pitch fastball in there for a strike. First time in today's action that we've seen the right-hander Cantarino go from the stretch. But with a runner on, being forced to slide step, checks on Lott at first, throws over, but back to the bag in time is the Louisiana Lafayette product. Falmouth also not recorded a hit. And Hyannis hadn't before the Lott single as he takes off for second. The throw by the catcher Schaefer offline, and Lott slides in head first safely. Runner on second for the Harbor Hawks with 1 out. First man in scoring position for either ball club in tonight's ball game. We saw Brady Lindsley come through with that 2 RBI single yesterday in Chatham, and has been handed another RBI opportunity in what's just his second start and second game of the young summer. Canarino quickly stepped off the mound to reset, now back on. Lott not being held on at second, neither the shortstop Davidson or the second baseman Julian giving him much attention. Canarino checks on Lott, counters with a slider, misses upstairs. Count 1-2 to Brady Lindsley as the pitch was called a strike when Lott took off for second. The fastball from Will Brennan at 1-2 is a called strike 3 right on the inside corner, and Brady Lindsley punches out looking for out number 2.
Lindsley there, not much you could have done with that pitch. Inside, he probably rolled it over for a ground ball. Unfortunately, strikes out.
Second strikeout of the evening for Canarino, had 5 in his first start. And it brings up FAU catcher Pedro Pages. Pedro hitting just .208, but takes a fastball upstairs. And Pages had a very, very proficient 2018, hitting .309 with 31 RBIs in his sophomore campaign at FAU. But still looking to get the wheels going a little bit in this Cape League summer. He takes a breaking ball on the outside corner for strike 1. The third baseman in James Cosentino, playing back behind the bag, was even with it before there were 2 outs, but now playing for the third. The next pitch from Canarino, swinging a foul off the catcher's mask and behind the screen. Schaefer trots out to the mound to have a quick meeting with his pitcher, Cantarino. Colin Hall waits on deck for the Harbor Hawks. And if both were to reach in Pages and Hall, Alec Trella is in the hole, and he rounds out the 9. Commodores left fielder in Stowers playing very deep out in the left field. Pages, a right-handed hitter, has shown some pop. At least he did in his sophomore year at FAU. As the 1-2 is swung on and fouled back again off the netting. Pages in yesterday's game. Struck out twice, once looking and once swinging. Also made an error at first base. He takes a breaking ball out of the zone and upstairs as the count moves to 2-2. 2 outs, a man on second. Score still 0-0. But a base knock from Pages could change the course of events in the early going. He swings at a fastball and sends a high pop-up on the right side in foul ground. Davis Sims calling everybody off and makes the catch for out number 3. Todd Lott singles, moves to second on a stolen base, but is stranded there as the Harbor Hawks couldn't push him across. 0-0 through 2 innings of play, and we'll be back right after this on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein.
We're back inside McKeon Park for the top half of the third inning. Travis Marr set for his third inning of work. So he'll go up against the number 8 hitter in Logan Foster, the Texas A&M designated hitter, sporting the number 8 on his back. He takes a first pitch fastball, high and inside. Davidson wiggling that bat above his right shoulder. Another inside heater from Marr brushes him off the plate, and the count's 2-0. Well, Marr, with an effective first 2 innings, has yet to allow a hit. Just 1 walk and was stranded on first. That was Steven Williams in the first inning. As Foster sends a pitch foul up and out of play. 2-1 the count. Wenzel, the third baseman, not playing to bunt. As the windup from Travis Marr, the pitch, swinging a foul, away on the first base side again. Foster, 20 at-bats on the summer, just 3 for hits, has driven in a pair of runs. The 2-2 from Marr, an inside-out swing, line drive into right field for a base hit, fielded by Colin Hall as he gets it back in quickly. A single to lead off the top of the third for the Commodores off the bat of Logan Foster as he checks in with the first hit of the night for Falmouth. Bringing up the number 9 hitter, James Cosentino. Cosentino, a left-handed hitter. One of the 6 lefty bats in the Commodores lineup tonight. As Marr from the stretch, the first pitch swung on and fouled up and out of play. Cosentino has a home run on the year. That came against the Harwich Mariners. But other than that, it's been a forgettable start for him with just a 166 average here in the early going. He shows bunt and pulls back on a fastball, and it's called a ball by home plate umpire Sam Finn. 1-1 the count to the Kansas product Cosentino, manning third base in the field tonight for the Commodores. Wenzel playing on the grass now, expecting the bunt as Marr steps off and throws over to first, but back safely is the runner in Foster. Middle infield back at double play depth. Center fielder Matthew Barefoot also giving some respect to the hitter in Cosentino in center field as James watches a fastball low and outside. 2-1, nobody out, still 0-0 in the top of the third. Each team has one hit of their own. Runner takes off, pitches high, throw down to second from Pages, tag applied by Trella, and he is long gone. Logan Foster out by about 4 feet down at second base. A beautiful throw from the catcher Pages, taking an outside fastball, quickly getting to his feet and delivering a strike down to Trella at second base. So that puts the first out of the inning on the board for the Commodores as the 3-1 pitch from Travis Mars, a fastball that misses low, and Cosentino draws a walk. On at first with 1 out, and the Commodores turn over their lineup, bringing up Clemson shortstop Logan Davidson. Davidson struck out swinging in the first. 5 for 26 on the young summer. After 1 pitch back in the windup, Marr in the set again. That fastball brushes Davidson off the plate for ball 1. Getting a decent lead off of first is Cosentino, being held on by Lindsley. As Marr takes a breath, delivers a fastball, misses just down. 2-0 the count. Logan Davidson led Clemson in hits and doubles this season, was second in RBIs and total bases. Holding that bat above his head on the left-handed side as he watches a fastball go by for a called strike. Steps out of the box quickly, takes a couple of practice swings, now back in. He's got a runner on first with 1 out. Marr sets, throws over to first, low in the dirt, but picked by Brady Lindsley. Back safely the runner in Cosentino. Marr keeping a good eye on the Kansas third baseman. He sets and fires the 2-1, swinging a high chopper over to Como at second base. Throws to Trella for 1, back to first, in time for a double play. Score that 4-6-3 as Travis Mars put up 3 clean innings of work, and another 0 goes up on the board for the Falmouth Commodores. Hyannis coming up to bat in the bottom of the third, looking to put up their first run of the evening. We'll be back right after this. You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Lyle Goldstein.
As we get set for the bottom of the third at McKeon Park, Colin Hall steps into the left-handed side of the batter's box. Time this summer seeing Rice right-hander Matt Canarino. Quickly gets his sign from the catcher Schaefer, kicks and fires from the windup. Fastball misses low and outside. Canarino's allowed just one hit to the Harbor Hawks so far. That was a single from Todd Lott in the second, as Hall swings at a fastball and sends it right behind him off the netting. Hall hitting 187 on the summer, 3 for his first 16. As the pitch from Canarino's a slider swung on and missed for strike 2. In his freshman year at Georgia Tech, Colin Hall hit 283 with 24 RBIs. His batting average ranked third among Georgia Tech freshmen. As he calls time to step out of the box, stretches himself out a little bit, but now back in and ready to go. Canarino from the windup, the 1-2, swing and a foul down the first base line. Hall was drafted out of high school, selected in the 39th round of the 2017 MLB first-year player draft by the Colorado Rockies, but opted to play for his dad at Georgia Tech University. The 1-2 from Canarino misses in the other side of the batter's box, and the count moves to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Canarino working quickly now. 2-2 to Colin Hall, swing and a miss for strike 3. Third strikeout of the night for Matt Canarino, and there's one out in the bottom of the third. Canarino doing a nice job with his pitch sequences up to this point, mixing in that sweeping slider to go along with a fastball that sits at about 90 to 92 miles an hour. The right-hander Alec Trella steps in to round out the 9 for the Harbor Hawks as he watches a first pitch breaking ball in the dirt. Well, I mentioned the strikeouts, as Canarino has 3 thus far tonight, had 5 in his first start, as he rears and delivers a called strike right at the knees to Alec Trella. But he punched out 227 hitters through his first 2 years at Rice University. Trella watches another slider miss upstairs. His strikeout total in his freshman year ranked 27th in the nation, and his 116 Ks this season ranked 25th. A fastball to Alec Trella catches the outside corner, and the count evens 2-2. In 2017, he led Conference USA in fewest hits allowed per 9 innings, as well as strikeouts per 9. Comes back with a slider to Trella, misses low and outside. Count moves to full. So 3 strikeouts so far for Canarino, looking to make it 4 on this 3-2 offering to Trella, and that plunks him right on the shoulder on a fastball. He jogs down to first, no problem, reaches base on a hit by pitch, and the Harbor Hawks have 1 on with 1 out in the bottom of the third. So we've seen Canarino have pretty good command through the first 2 1/3 innings. It's the first free pass he's issued tonight. He also only walked 22 hitters in 2018. So a rare commodity from the right-hander as he's set to face Matthew Barefoot for the second time tonight. Trella gets a lead at first, being held on by Sims, and the first pitch fastball to Barefoot's a swing and a miss. That one coming in right at the letters. Barefoot popped out to Davis Sims at first base in his first plate appearance. That led things off for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the first. As he checks his swing on a slider, first base umpire John Di Girolamo says he goes around, and the count moves to 0-2. The crowd at McKeon Park didn't love that call, shouting a few words back at the first base umpire. Trella gets his lead at first, picked off by Canarino and called safe as he dives back to the bag in time. Oh and 2 the count to the leadoff man in barefoot. Fastball gets away from the catcher C.J. Schaefer and to the backstop. Cruising into second base is the shortstop Alec Trella. The Harbor Hawks have their second man in scoring position tonight. That scored a wild pitch as Trella's on second. This situation mirrors similar to what the Harbor Hawks had going in the bottom of the second, with Lott on second base and 1 out, as Barefoot takes a slider for a ball low and away. Lott reached base, swiped second on a stolen bag, and then was stranded there as the next 2 hitters in Lindsley and Pages couldn't drive him in. But Barefoot looking to change the course as he sends a high chopper to the third baseman. Cosentino takes a high hop on him and off his glove. Barefoot beats it out at first with no throw. Trella holding up at second, and the Harbor Hawks have 2 men aboard with 1 out, bringing up second baseman Braden Como. So that ball taking a tough hop on the third baseman. Cosentino looked like he had a beat right on that ground ball, but couldn't come up with the play as it'll be ruled a base hit by the scorer's booth. Como steps in with 2 on and 1 out. Second time seeing Canarino. Slider is taken high and away for a ball. Braden Como 6 for 23 on the summer, hitting .261. Another breaking pitch from Canarino, misses away. Count 2-0 to Braden Como, who hit .319 and had 76 hits in his first season at Rice University. He's facing a former teammate of his in Canarino, and he hits him right on the back. Second hit man this inning as Como jogs down to first. Exchanges a little bit of a smile with Canarino as Como appears to be okay. Taking his time, heading down 90 feet. As I quickly mentioned, Canarino and Como teammates at Rice University. It was Braden's first year there this season. Both having star-studded seasons. That loads the bases with 1 out as time is called. A quick conference at the mound between the right-hander Matt Canarino and his pitching coach, as he's set to face the heart of the Harbor Hawks order. Wenzel stepping to the plate, with Seth Gray looming on deck. Infielders moving back to their respective positions. The right-hander Canarino back on the mound, and Wenzel stepping into the box, set to go. Bases loaded, 1 out, 0-0 ball game in the bottom of the third. The first pitch, fastball in there for a called strike. So 3 straight base runners have reached for the Harbor Hawks after Colin Hall struck out swinging to lead things off. Time called. Wenzel quickly steps out. Now back in, wiggling that bat at the neck level above his right shoulder. Swings and fouls a breaking ball down the right field line. Behind in the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Corner infielders playing in, Davis Sims and James Cosentino, even with their respective bags at first and third. Middle infield back, hoping to await the double play. The set from Canarino, the pitch to Wenzel, checks his swing, appeal down to first. says he does not go around, and Wenzel stays alive. Count now 1-2 to the Baylor shortstop, who hit .310 with 8 home runs in his sophomore campaign at Baylor. The set and the pitch from Matt Canarino, swinging a foul out of play right over the first base dugout. But Wenzel, as we've seen, a guy more than able to work counts, fouled off 3 straight pitches with 2 strikes in his last at-bat, also has 9 walks on the young summer. Swinging a foul on a fastball again, off the net behind home plate. Now in this at-bat, he's fouled off 2 straight pitches from a guy who's a strikeout machine in Cantarino. Wenzel looking to stay away from the K with 1 out in the third. As Canarino comes home, breaking ball misses low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Alec Trella, the man at third, Matthew Barefoot idling at second, and Como getting his lead at first, with no hold from the first baseman Davis Sims playing in front of the runner. Canarino sets. The pitch to Wenzel, a swing and a foul back into the mid of C.J. Schaefer, and that'll be his second strikeout of the night. 4th punch out for the pitcher, Matt Canarino. So the bases remain loaded, 2 outs, and nobody Hyannis would rather have up at the plate than left-handed hitter Seth Gray out of Wright State, who has been scorching hot over the last few games. Time's called again, and it looks like Matt Canarino's night may be done, as there's a left-handed pitcher jogging in from the bullpen. And that will be it for the Rice product. Hands the ball off to the new left-hander and takes a jog into the dugout. We'll have that for you and much more when we get back. Hyannis has the bases loaded and 2 out, looking to strike first in this ballgame in the bottom of the third. You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
New pitcher on hand for the Falmouth Commodores, left-hander Brett Killam out of Georgetown University, set to face Hyannis' left-handed bat and Seth Gray with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He goes from the set. The first pitch, sweeping breaking ball low and away. The night's done for Matt Canarino after 2 2/3 innings. He'll be making his way to a Team USA tryout later this week, as this is likely his last start on the Cape this summer. But head coach Jeff Trundy also looking to play matchups with a lefty-lefty set at hand. Seth Gray takes a strike on a fastball. Count moves to 1-1. Trella on third, Barefoot at second. Como at first with the infield playing back. The set from Killam and the 1-1 pitch. Gray checks his swing, the ball outside. Appeal down to third, and he does not go around. Two and one to the Wright State product, who hit .267 in his 2018 campaign. Had 20 extra base hits along with 23 walks. Killam gets his sign. Wheels and fires the 2-1 pitch. Swinging a slow chopper over to the shortstop. Davidson throws on the run to first. A bang-bang play, but Seth Gray called out, and that will end the inning. Harbor Hawks strand 3 runners on the bases and put a 0 up on the board. We're scoreless through 3 at McKeon Park, and we'll be back right after this on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Welcome back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Chris Lucey here to bring you around the league. But first, a message from Chatham Bars Inn. Visit the Stars Restaurant at Chatham Bars Inn Resort and Spa for a world-class dining experience. A proud member of leading hotels of the world, Chatham Bars Inn. Okay, out in Brewster we go. Top of the 6th, Couture went into the third, down a run, but exploded for 4 of RBI hits from Ole Miss's Thomas Dillard and Missouri's Jonathan Robertson. Kettleers are tied with the Braves for second in the Western Division at 12 points. They have a chance to pick up 2 more today. Out in Yarmouth, Dennis, that is 8-1 in favor of the Red Sox. They plated all their runs in the bottom of the 4th. 4 walks and 5 hits in that frame for YD. They have a commanding lead over their division leaders. The Sox are in the process of doing Chatham a favor. The A's were only able to pick up a point against Hyannis yesterday and fell into a tie for first out east with Harwich. Meanwhile, Bourne and Chatham are yet to get underway from Veterans Field, and the same for Wareham and Orleans from Eldridge Park. Now back to today's play-by-play voice here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network, Lyle Goldstein. Take it away, Lyle.
All right, Chris, thank you very much. Travis Marr back out on the mound, has thrown 3 scoreless innings for the Harbor Hawks tonight. Set for inning number 4. And he'll face left-hander Will Brennan to start things off. First pitch breaking ball drops at the knees for strike 1. Travis Marr breaking a little bit of a smile out on his face. He is locked in. Quickly comes back with a fastball on the outside corner, and the count moves to 0-2. Will Brennan grounded out to second in his first at bat. 0-2 from Travis Marr, a fastball upstairs. Now the Commodores don't have a whole ton of hitters in their lineup, sporting high averages, and Brennan in that same boat, just 182 on the summer. In fact, the lone man in the lineup tonight hitting above 220 is Davis Sims, sporting a 276 average. Marr quickly steps off, now gets back on and into the windup. The 1-2 grounded towards second, fielded on a couple of hops by Braden Como, throws over to Brady Lindsley at first for out number 1.
Great job by Mark, continuing to pitch really well, getting ahead of counts. Definitely has been able to help him so far in his start.
Braden Como's been a busy man over at second base tonight, has made 4 putouts, including that 4-6-3 double play that ended things in the third. The first pitch to the new hitter is a called strike. It's Stephen Williams, who now looks at a ball from Travis Marr. Travis gets his sign from the catcher, Pedro Pages, comes back with another off-speed pitch taken for strike 2. Marr already with an out here in the 4th. 1-2 pitch grounded through the left side under the diving backhand of Alec Trella and into left field for a base hit.
Trella unable to get that ball over at shortstop. Potentially could have gone him at first, but unable to get it in a 1-out single.
So on at first is Will Brennan, and that'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Davis Sims. Sims so far today, just 1 at bat, struck out swinging to end the 1st. But has a home run to his name this summer. Marr's first offering, a breaking ball right on the inside corner for strike 1. Getting his lead off of first is the runner, Stephen Williams, being held on by Lindsley. Marr comes back with a sweeping breaking ball, just missing. And the count goes to 1-1. Davis Wenzel hugging the line a little bit at third. And the left fielder, Todd Lott, showing Davis Sims some respect, playing deep in left field. Fastball misses inside, 2-1 the count. To Sims, who was the only player at Murray State to start every game this season. In his freshman year, he started all but 2. As time's called and he steps out. How about this for a stat for Davis Sims? He doubled 29 times in his 2018 campaign. That was 2nd in the country as Marr picks off over to first and the runner in Williams is back safely. He trailed only Bryson Stott of UNLV, and he trailed him by only 1. So the Western Division is filled with doubles as Stott plays for the Wareham Gatemen as Marr spikes a fastball into the dirt, takes a hop and hits off the netting, and trotting into second base on a wild pitch is the runner in Williams. So the Commodores have their first runner in scoring position of the night. Man on second with 1 out. Count 3-1 to the hitter in Sims. Score still remains 0-0. Braden Como playing over towards second and up the middle, giving some attention to the runner Williams. Big hole open on the right side of the infield as Davis Sims takes a slider for strike 2. So Travis Marr showing the Falmouth cleanup hitter some respect as well. That was a 3-1 count, but not shying away from him. Going right after him, but not giving him much to hit. Nothing straight, at least, as he spotted up that breaking ball to fill up the count. He's now ready. The payoff pitch, another off speed, misses low and away for ball 4. Sims reaches for the first time tonight on a walk, and the Commodores are threatening with 2 on and 1 out. That'll bring up Kyle Stowers, left fielder out of Stanford, who grounded out to first base in his first at bat. That started things off in the 2nd inning. But he's in an RBI opportunity as we speak. A swing and a miss at the first pitch for strike 1. Stowers, a left-handed hitter. Was a 2018 Pac-12 honorable mention after hitting .301 in his sophomore campaign. A swing and a foul on a fastball back behind the net. And Travis Marr's ahead at 0-2. And you know, Rob, Stowers must be really uncomfortable in that helmet because we've seen him take it off and readjust it a couple of times. It's either that or it's just a superstition of his.
Maybe there are a lot of guys that do that, especially at the professional level as well.
Marr sets, checks the runner at second. The 0-2 swung on and fouled down the first base line.
I also think maybe he's just trying to show it because of his bleached hair in the back, maybe.
Like we
Trying to
talked
show it
about,
off.
like
Yeah.
we talked about in that first inning, he really rocks that blonde flow. Umpire asks for a couple of new balls. His time is called. He'll now brush off home plate. Some action going on in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. Looks like it's right-hander Parker Towns getting loose. As a typical start from any pitcher in the Cape Cod Baseball League usually lasts from 4 to 5 innings, and this is inning number 4 for Marr. A swing and a tap back to the glove on a foul tip from Stowers for strike 3. He's sent down via the K for the first time tonight, and there's 2 away in the 4th for the new hitter in Edward Julian.
Good job there by Marr, trying to minimize this inning here, not trying to let up any runs, as both sides have 2 hits. Neither of them have any runs.
Third strikeout of the night for the right-hander in Marr. And he's 1 out away from another scoreless frame, but he's worked himself into a little bit of trouble. On at second, Davis Sims at first. First pitch to the new hitter in Julian, taken for a ball on an off-speed pitch. Alec Trella playing up the middle, keeping an eye on the runner in Williams. An open hole on the left side with the left-handed hitter in Julian at the plate. He swings at the next offering from Marr and sends it foul. Right off the netting behind home plate, and the count is now 1-1. Now, I think it's safe to say that the Auburn product in Julian as a pull hitter, as Brady Lindsley is really hugging the line down at first base. I'd say he's just 6 or 7 feet to the left of it. Braden Como shifted over to his left as well. So a gaping hole up the middle, also some space on the left side as well. Marr taking a long look at the hitter Julian, now gets his sign. Comes home with the 1-1, a fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. If Julian were to reach, the catcher C.J. Schaefer waits on deck. But Marr hoping he won't have to see him this inning, as he's just 1 pitch away from getting the Harbor Hawks off the yard. He comes set and checks the runner. The 1-2 pitch, swing and a hard ground ball right back to the pitcher Marr, glove cleanly, thrown over to first, and that is the end of the inning. The right-hander in Marr helps himself out a little bit, showing the leather with the glove, flashing that defense, and making an easy put out 1-3 to end things in the top of the 4th. We'll be back right after this. Game still knotted at 0 through 3.5 frames on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
Bottom half of the 4th underway at McKeon Park. Todd Lott steps into the box as the left-hander in Killam gets back on the mound for the Falmouth Commodores. He kicks and fires from the set. The Louisiana Lafayette product. He takes it high and away for a ball. Todd Lott has one of the 2 Harbor Hawk hits. He singled in the first, stole a base, in the second where he stole a base and was stranded there. Matthew Barefoot produced an infield single in the third, was also stranded at second. As Lott takes a curveball right off the rib cage for a hit by pitch, shrugs it off no problem and jogs down to first as the leadoff man is aboard for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the 4th. That's the 3rd hit by pitch tonight by Commodores pitchers, as Como was hit in the 3rd, much like the shortstop Alec Trella, and now Lott gets beamed right on the rib cage. Brady Lindsley steps in, set to face Killam for the first time, a lefty-lefty matchup. Killam wheels and fires the first pitch, a swing and a miss on a fastball. Now you see it more and more these days. Killam taking part in being one of those guys that only throws from the stretch. Even with nobody on base, he does not go from the windup, just more comfortable with that short, sweet delivery. He checks on Lott at first. The breaking ball to Lindsley taken for a strike, and he's quickly behind 0-2. Sims holding on Todd Lott at first base, as Todd stole a base back in his last time on the base pass. That was his 2nd of the summer. As Lindsley sends a high chopper over the mound, fielded cleanly by Davidson on the run, throws to first, and Lindsley's retired, but Lott moves on to second in scoring position for the 2nd time in as many tries. With 1 out for the Harbor Hawks in the 4th, bringing up catcher Pedro Pages.
Lindsley, a very good job being able to move that runner over. Now a man at second with 1 out, man in scoring position.
Didn't hit that ball incredibly hard, just got over the head of the pitcher and Killam. Davidson had to field that ball glove side and on the run, but made a nice throw over to his first baseman Sims at first. So we've seen the Clemson product Davidson flash the leather a couple times so far in this ballgame, as Pages sends a line drive down the right field line. That'll get down for a base hit. Rounding third, heading home is Todd Lott. He'll score with no play as the ball gets by the second baseman Davidson on the relay back into the infield, and Pages cruises into second base with a 1-out single, and the Harbor Hawks strike first in the bottom of the 4th.
Great piece by Pages, being able to shoot it out to right field, beyond the right fielder, being able to get that run score. And that's how important Lindsley is, be able to move that runner over, because if he didn't do that, then potentially could have gotten doubled off.
Every man doing his job through the first 3 hitters of the 4th. Lott hit by a pitch. Lindsley, like you mentioned, Rob, with the high chopper to short that sent Lott over to second with no play there. And then Pages coming through with the RBI base knock as he now stands at second, as it was scored a single and an E9. Colin Hall takes a strike on a fastball, that one touching the outer half of the plate. As Killam set to face his second lefty of the inning. He checks on Pages at second. Kicks and fires home to Colin Hall, a swing and a miss on a breaking ball, and the count's now 0-2. Parker Towns continuing to get loose down the third base line in the Harbor Hawks bullpen. We will see if Travis Marr's night is done after 4 innings of work. But the Harbor Hawks looking to capitalize on offense, already put 1 across, looking to do the same and more as Hall sends a breaking ball foul up and out of play on the third base side. Pages standing on second. He traded places with Todd Lott in that last at bat with a single and E9. Colin Hall at the plate looking to pick up his 4th hit of the summer. A swing and a miss right through that fastball for out number 2. Colin Hall punches out for the 2nd time tonight. And that'll bring up Alec Trella, the Memphis shortstop. Trella, yet to record an official at-bat tonight, was hit by a pitch in the 3rd was stranded at third as the Harbor Hawks couldn't muster up anything in the previous inning despite having the bases loaded. They lead 1-0 here in the bottom of the fourth. Page is getting his lead at second. The first pitch to Trella, a swing and a miss through an off-speed pitch. That looked like the changeup from Killam. Alec Trella, despite displaying some power for Memphis this season, just 1 for his first 12 on the summer. No homers and no RBIs, but he's got an opportunity to drive in Pages here. Killam keeping a good eye on the catcher at second. Fastball to Trella, a swing and a foul out of play. Trella, in his year over at Memphis, hit just .229, although he popped 7 homers and drove in 39 runs. Killam sets at the belt. Comes home with the 0-2. In the dirt, gets away from the catcher Schaefer, but smothers it in time as Pages can't advance to third. That ball rolling up the third base line. Trella getting a sign from his head coach Chad Gassman, steps out of the box. Now digs back in and is set to go. Infield playing back. Left fielder Stowers deep in left field. Trella continuing to wiggle that bat out in front of home plate. The 1-2 swing and a miss on a slider for strike 3, and that'll do it for the Harbor Hawks here in the fourth. They plate 1 on an RBI single from Pedro Pages and lead by a score of 1-0 through 4 innings. We'll be back right after this here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Travis Marr's night is done after what was a major bounce back from his first start against the Chatham A's. He spins 4 scoreless innings against the Falmouth Commodores tonight, allowed just 2 hits, no earned runs, walked 3, and also punched out a trio. New right-hander on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, Parker Towns, the Dallas Baptist product. Towns on the summer, making what will be his second appearance. In his 2018 campaign at Dallas Baptist, he went 1-1 with a 4.08 ERA, appeared in 18 games through 28 2/3 innings, walked 12 and struck out 27. His first pitch to C.J. Schaefer is hacked on and missed for strike 1. Towns was selected by the Seattle Mariners in the 37th round of the 2018 amateur entry draft, but opted to decline and come out to the Cape as that breaking pitch misses away for ball one. Schaefer flew out to right in the second. That was his lone at bat. He swings and sends a high pop-up into short right field. Coming in is Colin Hall, calling everybody off. Makes the catch on the run for the first out of the fifth.
Good start by Towns, trying to come out of the pen, trying to make quick work of the Commodores, trying to get the bats back up as they're unable to only get one run last inning.
Colin Hall's had a magnet on C.J. Schaefer through his first two at-bats, as both times he's hit shallow fly balls to the right fielder. Towns set to face his first right-handed hitter of the game. In Logan Foster's, he swings at the first pitch and sends a two-hopper to short. Fielded cleanly by Trella, takes a couple of hops and throws to first. And just like that, there's two down in the top of the fifth. Parker Towns making quick work of the bottom third of the Commodores' order. So James Cosentino rounding out the nine for Falmouth. Walked in the third, was stranded at first. As Towns wheels and fires, a breaking ball in there right at the knees for strike one. Towns working quickly. He gets his sign from Pages from the windup and the 0-1, swinging a hard ground ball past the backhand to Braden Como at second base and into right field. Cosentino will stop at first, takes a hard turn and retreats back to the bag. Commodores have their third hit of the evening and a man on first with two outs. Falmouth turns over their order again. Logan Davidson making his third plate appearance. Yet to record a hit was a culprit of the 4-6-3 double play turned by the Harbor Hawks in the third. His first time seeing Marr make that Towns. He saw Marr in his first two plate appearances. Towns from the set. The first pitch misses low for ball one. So Cosentino with a 1-for-1 day gets his lead at first. A fairly decent one with Lindsley holding him on. Davidson wiggling that bat above his head. Watches another breaking ball from Towns in the dirt for ball two. So nobody for Falmouth tonight has gone past second base. Stephen Williams got there in the fourth but was stranded. And he's been the only man at second base for the Commodores so far this evening. Towns comes back with a fastball in the dirt again, 3-0. So after recording two quick outs, the Clemson product, Logan Davidson, finds himself in what is a substantial hitter's count. Towns comes set, right at the belt, the 3-0 offering. That's right over the heart of the paint for strike one. So Marr, with runners on base, he sets his feet almost like he's going to go from the windup. And then when he comes set with the glove, he puts one foot in front of the other as the runner takes off, but it won't matter as the ball misses outside for ball four. Logan Davidson draws his first walk of the night. Back-to-back base runners reach for the Commodores in the top of the fifth. 2 on and 2 out for the center fielder, Will Brennan. Brennan's grounded out to Braden Como twice at second base. 6 for 34 on the summer. But has an RBI opportunity at hand with the Harbor Hawks up 1-0. Travis checks on the runner at second, or make it Towns again, as his first pitch to the hitter in Brennan is fouled back to Pages for strike one. Alec Trella playing a couple steps over to his left, up the middle. Como in his natural spot at second base. Towns checks the runner again. The 0-1 offering misses away.
Towns trying to get out of this with the Harbor Hawks still having a lead 1-0.
Commodores have their heart of the lineup set due up after this with Steven Williams, Davis Sims, and Kyle Stowers, with Parker Towns hoping he won't have to get to them in this inning. Just one out away. The next pitch is low for a ball, back pick by Pages to second, but back safely is the runner in James Cosentino. Pages saw daylight on that one with Trella covering the bag right after the off-speed pitch was thrown from Parker Towns, but Cosentino made aware of it very quickly. Stayed alert getting back in time. Page's throw was also a little bit low. Trella chested it up. 2-1 the count. The next offering to the hitter, Brennan. A swing and a foul out of play. Into the stands on the third base side. As the count's even at 2-2 with 2 outs. Each team has 3 hits on the night, all them being base knocks. Hyannis with the lone run coming on a Pedro Pages single. Marr sets and gets his sign. Wheels and fires the 2-2. A swing and a miss on a foul tip for strike 3. And Parker Towns gets out of a jam in the top of the 5th. Another 0 up on the board for the Harbor Hawks. They'll come up in the bottom of the 5th looking to extend their lead as they currently are up 1-0 here at McKeon Park. We'll be back right after this here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back in the bottom of the 5th. I'm taking over play-by-play while Lyle is the color commentator.
Well, the Falmouth Commodores putting a new arm on the hill. Looks as if it'll be the right-hander Ian Koch out of Western Illinois, as he'll face the top of the Harbor Hawks order in Barefoot, Como, and Wenzel. The final line on the reliever in Killam, he pitched an inning and a third, gave up 1 earned run on 1 hit, walked nobody and struck out 2 after the 2 2/3 innings of work by Canarino, giving up no runs on 2 hits.
And the first pitch is just in for a strike. Caught the edge of the strike zone. 1-0 pitch from Koch. That is a ground ball to the shortstop, but it will get through. And a leadoff single for Matthew Barefoot.
And he just continues to stay hot on this young summer. He came into that at bat hitting .304, his second base knock of the night, drilling that one back up the middle and into center field. Davidson, we've seen him flash the leather tonight, but he had no chance on that one. And Barefoot, as deadly of a runner as anybody in the Cape League, especially with nobody out.
Braden Como up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. The Harbor Hawks today on their Friday red jerseys as July 4th, just in a couple of weeks, I'm sure they'll be wearing the same. Pitches into Como, in for a strike. Throws back to first, but he'll be safe. Good crowd this evening on a Friday night. Some good baseball. Oh, pitch. Barefoot goes. Throws down to second. And he's gone at second base. Matthew Barefoot unable to get there fast enough.
Well, a strong throw from the catcher, C.J. Schaefer. I thought Barefoot might have got a foot under the tag on that. But field umpire Rick Emerson says, no, sir. Barefoot's out on the base pads. And that base hit wiped away. Now a man out, I should say. 1-1 to Como.
1-1 to Como. The pitch is in. A ball in the dirt just outside. Good stop by C.J. Schaefer, the catcher for Falmouth. Pitches in. That is a ground ball that will get past the third baseman in a 2-out or a 1-out single. I apologize. Will be Braden Como at first.
And we mentioned Barefoot staying hot. The top of that Harbor Hawks order continuing to stay hot too. Como punches a single through the left side on that one. His average sitting at 292 on the summer.
Davis
and that was
Wenzel up to bat for the Harbor Hawks. Runner on first with 1 out in the bottom of the fifth. Hyannis is up 1-0. First pitch into Wenzel is just in for a strike. Caught the outer edge of the plate. Wenzel's batting .238 on the year. No home runs, but 1 RBI. 5 for 21. Pitch is just inside. Lower part of the plate. Koch has pitched 8 innings so far this year. Has not let up any runs.
He's been the most effective reliever for the Commodores. He picked up the win on opening night here at McKeon Park.
Pitch is swing and a miss by Wenzel. The low pitch is dropping in the zone. Down 1-2 in the count as Wenzel throw back to first, but Como will be safe. Did not have to slide. One-two pitch. That is a rope out to left field, but the left fielder does have it for the second out. Como has to run back to first as he thought it was going to get down.
Well, Wenzel, like you mentioned, he put that thing on a frozen rope. That was a hanging breaking ball from the right-hander in Koch, taking advantage of it and just drilling it out to left field. But Stowers playing him fairly deep. He's been playing all the Harbor Hawk hitters pretty deep this evening. Only had to go a couple of steps back, and he settled under it.
Pitch is just outside to Seth Gray, the DH for the Harbor Hawks. Fourth man in the order. Como with a healthy lead over at first. Pitches in. It's a ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. He'll just toss it over to second base, and he gets it for the third out. The Harbor Hawks unable to score any runs. They're still up 1-0. We'll be back here for the top of the sixth here in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Welcome back in the top of the 6th inning. Up. Stephen Williams. Bat for the Commodores. Looking for their first runs of the game. Towns back on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. First pitch is in for a ball. Pitch is just in for a strike. Now 1-1. 1-1 pitch to Towns. Just foul as it goes to the left of us. Near the high school right behind McKeon Park here in Hyannis. Pitch is just high for a ball. 2-2 on Williams.
Harbor Hawks have a man getting loose in the bullpen. Looks like it's right-hander Ryan Pepio out of Butler.
Pitch just straight out of the strike zone. There looked like it was going to be called. Strike 3 now runs the count 3-2. Looked like they caught the edge. 3-2 pitch. A fly ball to the left fielder Lott. He comes in and gets it, and he does as the wind kind of took it the other way, but Lott able to make the catch for the first out in the top of the 6th.
Yeah, Lott took a little bit of an interesting route on that one. He went back and off to his left, and then the ball tailed a little bit on him off the bat of Williams, and it took him back over his right shoulder, but regardless, stayed right with it and made the catch on the run.
Davis Sims to bat for Falmouth. First pitch of the at-bat is in for a strike. One 0 pitch. Ball just in dirt. Page is unable to get it. Just waits for a moment as it hit off his hand. But he'll be all right. One count. 1 out in the top of the 6th. 1-0 Hyannis. If you're just joining us, you're on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. 1-1 pitch into Sims. That is a ground ball to Como. Como takes it off the chest, throws it on to first for the second out.
5th put out for Como tonight, staying busy over at second base. That one routine off the bat of Sims. It took Como in a little bit, but he fielded it glove side. Made the easy throw to first. Also sounded like from up here in the press box, Sims broke his bat on that one. It got off the end of the bat.
Stowers up to bat for Falmouth. 2 outs in the top of the 6th. That is another ground ball. Como has it. He'll throw it on to first. In a very quick top of the 6th inning, Towns once again does a good job coming out of the pen. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the 6th. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
MusicElf.com. 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 musicalf.com. 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 musicalf.com.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back in the bottom of the sixth. Watt is up, and he went for the first pitch. One-0 count down is Lott. Oh, pitch. That is a roper out to shortstop. Looked like it was going to get past him. Slowly just comes down for out number one.
It did look like off the bat it had a little bit more on it going on a line, but it turned out to just be a soft line drive to Logan Davidson at short. Didn't have to move too much on the play.
Up the bat now is Lindsley. Pitches a high infield fly to the shortstop. He has it for the second out.
Lindsley with a tough day, a strikeout looking, a ground out, and now a fly out. The last two at bats, his ball's going right to the shortstop and Davidson. After that 2 RBI single last night in Chatham, this Falmouth pitching staff getting the best of the Oklahoma product here tonight thus far.
Pedro Pages up in the bottom of the sixth. Pitches just catches the outer half of the zone. A check swing did not go. It's now 1-1. Pitch is swing and a miss by Pages. One-two count is in. That is a ground ball. A third baseman catches it on a hop, throws it on to first for the third out. Great stop by Davis Sims over at first base. After 6 innings, the score is Hyannis 1, Falmouth nothing. We'll be right back here on the top of the 7th here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gaspin making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks digital network.
Welcome back in the top of the seventh. Ryan Pepio on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, and that's going to do the day for Parker Towns. He pitched 2 innings, well up 1 hit, had 1 strikeout, and walked 1. He faced 8 batters, while Travis Marr faced 15. Getting ready to Edward Turian up to bat for Falmouth to lead off in the 7th. They're down 1-0. First pitch from Pepio is in for a strike. Trying to find the command early. I'll be solo this 7th inning. Pitch is just outside for a ball. Pages tried to frame it back in the strike zone, unable to do so. One count. Ball just passed him. It looked like it almost hit him, but it did not. It's now 2-1 as it bounces to the brick backstop here at McKeon Park. Two-one count. The pitch is in. Ground ball to the first baseman. He has it for the first out. Lindsley able to get the ground ball out. Assisted himself. C.J. Schaefer now up for the Commodores. It's been a pretty low-scoring game today with 1-0 Hyannis. Falmouth has been surrendering owing 3 hits, while Hyannis has 5. Falmouth does have an error. Pepio's first pitch is a swing and a miss. 1 out in the top of the 7th. Foul ball. Just hits Pedro Pages. Home plate umpire asks the ball boys for a couple of baseballs as they're starting to lose them. Swing and a miss by Schaefer for the 3rd strike. In the 2nd out in the top of the 7th. Logan Foster up the bat for Falmouth. Defensive coach for Hyannis yells out a number, which is a defensive alignment that they want out in the infield and the outfield. No count. Pitch is just foul for a ball. Wenzel attempted to grab at it, but he knew it was foul. Took 1 step, went right back. Two-oh count. Pitch for Pepio. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. A great pitch by Ryan Pepio. And the Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the 7th. They are still up 1-0. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
musicalf.com. 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 musicalf.com.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis.
Welcome back in the bottom of the 7th. Harbor Hawks are still upset 1-0. For joining us. Pitches in for a ball to Colin Hall. Hall in the season is batting 187, 3 for 16 so far this year. Two-0 count. Koch back on the mound for Hyannis, and that will be a fly ball out to the left fielder. And Stowers for the first out. Alec Trella. Out for the Harbor Hawks with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th. Pitches in. Just foul. It steamrolls almost right into the Falmouth Commodores dugout. Would have been able to protect themselves, but they're all right as it goes past them. 1-0 pitch. Ball just in low. One count to Trella. That is just inside. Sorry, that is a strike. It is a 1-2 count. 1-2 pitch. That is a little blooper out to right field, but he has to back up, and he catches it for the second out. Williams able to first come in and had to back up. 2 gone in the bottom of the 7th. Barefoot is back up for the Harbor Hawks, the leadoff man in the order. Pitches in, that is a ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. He'll throw it on to first. And after 7 innings, it is still 1-0 Hyannis. A pitcher's duel going on here at McKeon Park. We'll be right back for the top of the 8th here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. We'll bring you back to the booth, but first, it's down to the sidelines with Dani Terzer.
A Friday night home game here in the Cape Cod League calls for the Harbor Hawks to break out the red jerseys and the camo ball caps. This to honor police, firefighters, and the military. I spoke to Seth Gray and Eric Rivera, both who are glad that this league honors those brave enough to put their lives on the line for our country. Coach Gassman also loves the tradition and to see the league and the community come together as one. It's a time when the league gets to show appreciation for the people that take such good care of them.
Welcome back in the top of the eighth. James Constantino up to bat for Falmouth. First pitch is in for a strike. Pepio back on the mound for the Harbor Hawks, able to make quick order of the Commodores. Trying to get a little late. Ball's just inside. 1-1 count. Oh, pitch. Ball just outside. Page is trying to bring it back in the zone, but the home plate umpire did not fall for it. Pitch is just in. Just outside. It's a 3-1 count. Pepio not getting much help from the home plate umpire in this at bat. 3-1 pitch. In for a strike. Runs the count now full 3-2. Three-two pitch. Ball four just inside. And a leadoff walk. As the Commodores really going, as their bats have been held in very short order so far today. Now the top of the order for the Commodores coming up, Logan Davidson.
Just a second walk issued today by Harbor Hawks pitchers. That's a really positive sign considering just a few games ago, free passes were their whole problem with the staff, and now they've really started to command the zone.
A bunt down, the third base line goes foul. Man on first, nobody out in the top of the eighth. Throws back to first, but he'll be safe. Shows bunt again. Pulls it back at the last second. Now it's a 1-1 count.
Ron Polk steps out onto the infield grass, giving a couple of signals to his infield, probably some bunt defense, which we've seen them work a lot on early on before the start of games.
Puts the bunt down. Wenzel has it at third base. He'll throw it on the first for the first out, but the runner does advance.
Well, Davidson, the leadoff hitter, getting the job done, doing what he's expected, dropping down a bunt right down the third base line, caused Wenzel to charge in. Fielded it with the glove, didn't barehand it, and made a strong throw to Lindsley at first. But in a 1-0 ball game in the late innings, now a man on second, one out with your 2, 3, 4 hitters due up. Davidson playing a big part of this eighth inning for the Commodores.
Bierman up to bat for Falmouth. Trying to look for scoring opportunity with a runner in scoring position. A ball just outside for ball one. One-0 count, one out in the top of the eighth. Hyannis is up 1-0 in a pitcher's duel. A nasty pitch in for a strike.
There's that sweeping breaking ball from Pepio in his second inning of work. His first two starts, or appearances, we should say, of the summer, he went 2 1/3 innings both times, really struggled. Struck out the side in 3 hitters against Wareham a couple days ago.
1-1. Pitch just outside for a ball. 2-1 Pepio. It's coming down to crunch time and late in this game in the top of the eighth. It's only 8:02. This game's moved very quickly. Oh-2 pitch. Foul ball. Ball goes just in back of us. Count now is 2-2.
Falmouth still with just 3 hits on the night. Only 1 from the top third of the order, that coming from Stephen Williams. That was back in the 4th.
Two-two pitch. That is a ground ball to the second baseman, and he misses it on a hop. The runner comes home, and the score is tied 1-1. Como, on a bad hop, hits the end of his glove and dribbles out into right field, and the game is tied 1-1.
Well, Como came charging in on that one, looking to try to field it off the in-between hop glove side when he probably could have just waited for it. He stays and waits, field it right at about the chest level. He has an easy throw to first, but kind of going all or nothing on that one, and it skips off the heel of his glove and trickles into right field, and it allows the runner in Cosentino to score, and we got a new ball game.
First pitch is in for a strike. Now up is Stephen Williams. This game is tied 1-1. Sweeping pitch. Justin, that was considered an E4. Spearman will not be getting the RBI.
Now, of course, it's not for sure Como would have gotten him out at first. The play was ruled a single in E4 as Brennan Speed was hustling down the line. Probably all the more reason Como tried to field it on the run and off his glove side to try to make a snap throw to first. But the tough hop, like you mentioned, Rob, off his heel, caused the run to score.
Still meeting out on the pitcher's mound, but the home plate umpire come to break it up.
And he's going to face the heart of the order. He's got Stephen Williams out of Auburn, Davis Sims from Murray State, and Kyle Stowers out of Stanford. You look back to that bunt that was dropped down by Logan Davidson just a hitter ago. And now look how crucial that is with the man on second that scored in Cosentino. That's all due to the bunt from Davidson. He dropped down a beauty.
Sure did. 1-1 count. Pitch is in. The runner will go at first. Throws down to second. Not in time. Pages with a bad throw. And now there'll be a runner in scoring position to potentially take the lead for Falmouth.
And there's Brennan again with his speed, getting a good jump on the run off Pepio. Pages tried to catch it quickly and make a snap throw all in one motion, but he sailed it a little bit high. Trella able to jump up and keep it on the infield, snagging it, but couldn't apply the tag as he was coming back down. And the Commodores, another runner in scoring position in the 8th.
1-2 count. Runner at second with 1 out in the top of the 8th. Coming into this inning, Hyannis was up 1-0. The score is now tied 1-1. Pitches in, that is a ground ball to Wenzel. He looks off the runner at second. He'll throw it on to first for the second out. Runner did not advance.
And that's a good job by Pepio, really bearing down in that at bat and inducing soft contact. About as easy of a play as you can ask for as a third baseman from Wenzel, fielding that with his hand facing up right at the chest level, and then an easy throw across the diamond to Brady Lindsley.
Davis Sims up the bat for the Commodores. Runner at second, 2 out in the top of the 8th. 1-1 tie here at McKeon Park. First pitch of the at-bat is in. Just foul. Sims getting towards the end of the bat on that whips back. Foul into the netting just before us here at McKeon Park.
Pepio's going to have to be careful with Sims. This is the most dangerous bat in the Commodores order. He's hitless today, but he displays some major power.
One-0 pitch. A foul ball. Scorching line drive down the left field line. Will stay foul.
And Sims has gotten 2 pitches up in the zone. He fouled off that first pitch fastball from Pepio along the right side, and then the breaking ball right at about the belt level, just a little bit out in front on it, sending it down into the Harbor Hawks bullpen. But Pepio ahead 2 strikes. Now is a pitch to waste. Maybe see if he can get Sims to chase at a high fastball or something in the dirt.
0-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And the Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the 8th. The score is tied 1-1. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Welcome back in the bottom of the 8th. Brady and Como lead off for the Harbor Hawks in their Friday night red jerseys. So every home team in the Cape League will wear them at some point this season. Pitch is in for a strike. Down 1-0 early in the bottom of the 8th in the count. 1-1 tie if you're just joining us here in the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Ball's high. Falmouth has 4 hits. Hyannis has 5. Both teams have errors on the day. Hyannis' error coming at a bad time as it scored the tying run. Ball just outside. 2-1 count into Como. Two-one pitch. A ground ball to the third baseman. He has it on a hop. He'll throw it on the first. Como's speed almost had him safe, but he's out for the first out in the bottom of the 8th.
Como just couldn't get enough on that one. Jammed inside a little bit, sent a chopper on a couple of hops right to the third baseman, Cosentino. We had a pretty easy play on it, getting a friendly hop right at about the belt level.
Wenzel now up for the Harbor Hawks. Koch still on the mound for Falmouth. That is a ball low in the dirt, up 1-0 in the count.
He's been effective in 3 1/3 innings, still yet to allow a run on this young summer, just 2 hits.
Pitches in for Wenzel. Grounds it to the shortstop. He'll throw it on the first for the second out.
And Koch just continuing to induce soft contact on these Harbor Hawk hitters, making life easy on his defense. Nothing too tough and in the hole. And that battery working pretty well between the Western Illinois teammates and Ian Koch and C.J. Schaefer. I'm sure they know each other pretty well, usually on the same page.
Logan Davidson on the stop. And a new pitcher is coming on for Falmouth. We'll be right back after that pitching change. 1-1 tie in the bottom of the 8th with 2 outs. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Hyannis Harbor Hawks on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Now back to today's voice of the Hawks, Rob Marcello.
Welcome back. A new pitcher on for Falmouth. Pitches just catches the plate and forward strike. Pitch just low. Seth Gray up for Hyannis. Block on the mound for Falmouth. Sweeping ball in there for a strike. Down 1-2, Ms. Gray. 1-2 pitch. Ball just outside, lands in the backstop. But quickly bounces back in the field of play as the ball boy go gets it.
Blocks thrown just an inning and 2/3 on this summer, giving up 6 earned runs on 6 hits. Now, Rob, of course this is flawed, but his ERA currently sits at 32.40.
2-2 pitch. Balls just outside of that is definitely flawed, Lyle, I will tell you.
You would have to think that that'll go down throughout the course of the season.
I hope so. Ball 4 and a 2-out walk. As Seth Gray gets on for the first time today, he started off 0 for 3, but he's batting .421. And Todd Lott will be up for Hyannis. Lott early this year hit an opposite field home run out to right field in the Patriot Cup in Katuitt. First looked like it was just going to be an easy fly ball, but the wind carried it. Ball is just slow right near Lot's shoe top. Schaefer now going to go talk to Block.
Well, A.J. Block is a sophomore out of Pullman in Washington State. Stands at 6'5", 220 pounds. He's got the frame and the body size, but hasn't exactly put it all together numbers-wise so far out on the Palouse at Washington State. 6.89 ERA in his freshman year, 4.91 in his sophomore year in 44 innings pitched. He struck out 48 hitters.
1-0 pitches into Lot, just low. Up 2-0 in the count. Lot's going to probably see a good pitch.
That's one of the biggest things about the Cape League, though, is numbers don't always tell the whole story. And if you're out here, it means scouts probably like you and you've got some potential. And Block with that fastball and body size definitely does.
Pitch just low for a ball. 3-0. Here, and we'll have to see if Lot gets the green light on 3-0. He sees a good pitch. He can smash it. Pitch is in. In for a strike. Inside. Did not want to swing at that. Would have probably rolled over for live drive out to third. Very one pitch. The runner is going. He hits a ball just foul.
You can tell Lott's a little unhappy with himself after that one. He got a pitch he liked on a 3-1 count, a fastball middle in. He tattooed it down the left field line, but hooking it just foul.
And there will be a pinch runner.
And here comes the debut of UCSB outfielder Tommy Jew coming in for Seth Gray to pinch run at first. Jew was activated just today. Didn't start in the lineup, but getting a chance to make his way out onto the base paths and do a little bit of pinch running.
Definitely a good way to start your Harbor Hawk career, trying to make an impact on the base paths. Oh, pitch. That is in strike three. God, I'm looking. Lott was fooled on that pitch, and after 8 innings, the score is still tied 1-1. Here we'll be right back in the top of the 9th here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Back to Chad Gaspin making all the right moves on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome back in the top of the 9th. Thomas on the mound for Hyannis is the Hawaii 5-0. So I'm playing a course in Hawaii. Well, Thomas also goes to University of Hawaii. So it's only fitting they play the song each time he comes out.
I think he selects it when he comes out from the bullpen as his entrance song. But it's pretty fitting, like you mentioned. He goes to the University of Hawaii. And Thomas on the season. He'll be making his 4th appearance. Thrown 3 innings so far, let up just an earned run. on 4 hits. He's also struck out 4 hitters. This will be his second time seeing Falmouth. He appeared on opening night. Game was a little bit out of hand at that point.
Stowers now up for Falmouth. First pitch is in. Just foul for a ball. And he went. It's now 0-2. Manager for Falmouth did not like that. 0-2 pitch. Just foul. Oh, 2. Pitch is in. Ball just high for a ball. 1-2 count. Thomas is still ahead, though. That will be a liner out to right, and we'll get down.
He scorched that thing on the Dylan Thomas pitch right there. A 1-2 count. Staying right on that thing, drilling it into right field. Colin Hall coming in on it a little bit, but I think he made the right move staying in front of that one. If he had gone all out and dived for it, heaven forbid he misses, that's probably 3 bags for Stowers. But instead, just a man on first with nobody out.
Paul comes out to talk to his infield. They somewhat have 2 pitching coaches, but when you think about it, one is for pitching and one is for defense.
And Ray Korn, the pitching coach for the Harbor Hawks. Ron Polk, the defensive guru, as we talked about earlier. You get to the field about 3 o'clock here at McKeon Park for a 6 p.m. contest. You'll see Polk standing up, the entire team sitting down, or at least the position players, and he'll be going over infield defenses and so many different shifts and things of that sort, night in and night out.
Here is Polk. Talks to the umpire. Umpire laughs, so I'm sure it was a funny exchange.
And Hayden Cantrell will be the pinch hitter for the Commodores. And if there's anybody Dylan Thomas has to get the ball all over the plate against, it's this guy. Cantrell leading the CCBL in walks. Despite his average below 200, he is fantastic at working counts.
No one went as there was an infield call. Up 1-0 in the count is Thomas to Cantrell. Pitch is in. Bunts, and it'll be foul. Down 0-2 in the count.
And that's big from Thomas, getting ahead of the count to the Cape Cod leader in walks in Cantrell. On the season, he's just hitting 190. And he's walked in all but 1 game this season.
Throws back to first, but he'll be safe. One-two count. Ball just high. One-two pitch. Ground ball just foul. It's 1-2 in the count to Cantrelli. There is a runner on first. Nobody out in the top of the ninth. Throws back to first, but he'll be safe. Getting his jersey dirty. Falmouth in their road black jerseys tonight with gray pants. While Hyannis is in the Friday night red jerseys honoring the military. Strike three. Got him. Looking for the second out in the top of the ninth.
That's big from Thomas, freezing Cantrell for out number 1 here on the night. After letting up that base hit to the first batter in Stowers after drilling that thing, he settles down quickly and retires the hitter in Cantrell for the first out, and he's facing the bottom third of the order here in the ninth.
C.J. Schaefer. Now up, the runner goes. Throws down to second, and he'll be gone. And that now is the second out of the inning. I apologize. I thought it was going to be the third out of the inning.
And they've been stealing all night long, or at least attempting to on Pedro Pages, and fooled by nobody that time. Gets up and throws a bullet down to Braden Como at second, low and on a line, perfectly apply the tag for out number 2.
Which is a swing and a miss by Schaefer. Now down 0-2. Look at the first pitch. A great throw down by Pages. As you said, Lyle, the Harbor Hawks have been very good at just that. Down 0-2. Pitches in just foul. Third base coach of the Commodores being able to make a stop with his hand as it went right past him. Oh, 2 count. Pitches in. Did he go? Yes, he did. Strike 3 called. Got him looking. On a swing and miss, the Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the ninth, trying to walk it off here for the second time this season. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
Last chance for the Harbor Hawks to rally in the bottom of the ninth on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Welcome back in the bottom of the ninth. Jack Little on the mound for Falmouth. Lindsley up to lead off. He's 0 for 3 on the day. He has 2 at-bats on the season prior to this game. Got one hit. He's currently batting .500. That big 2 RBI single, being able to draw them within 1 yesterday. Swing and a miss. One 0 pitch. Ball just inside, low, almost to the shoe tops. 1-1 count. Score is tied 1-1. Both teams have 5 hits. Both teams have errors at 1. 1-1 pitch. That is a ground ball. Will get through the first and second baseman. And a leadoff single as the Harbor Hawks brewing in the bottom of the 9th. Trying to win and trying to get their second walk-off win of the season.
And a good at bat there from Brady Lindsay, keeping his hands inside the baseball on an off-speed pitch from Little. Not trying to do too much with it, just poking it through the hole between first and second. Leadoff man aboard in the 9th for the Hawks.
Pedro Page is now up. Harbor Hawks now have 6 hits. Page potentially could be putting a bunt down here. But Falmouth is playing a double depth. He acts like he's going to bunt. That's for a ball as he whips his bat around just in time. One 0 count. Pages is up. One 0 pitch. Puts a bunt down as Pages. The pitcher has it. He'll throw it on to first, but the runner does advance. And with a single here, the Harbor Hawks could win.
And he dropped that thing down perfectly, not chasing after the first one, waiting for his pitch, even on a bunted ball, sending it right up the first base line. Jack Little had no play at Lindsley at second. And even for a big guy like Pages, a guy who stands at 230 pounds, has some pop in his bat, clutching up when his team needs him most, dropping down a beauty for a sac bunt.
And there appears will be a pinch hitter in Trevor Hoover.
Well, Trevor got the night off for the most part tonight, wasn't in the starting lineup. After starting a couple of other games this week, he's been a regular in the Harbor Hawks lineup in the early going this season. And for the most part of the 2018 summer, he swung a hot bat with a man on second, 1 out. He's got a chance to deliver the game-winning RBI.
First pitch in for Hovers a ball high just outside. Ball 1. Hover so far in the year is batting .235. 1 home run and 3 RBIs. Second pitch is in right down the heart of the plate. Now 1-1 to Hover. Hover is 4 for 17 on the season. One pitch. Swing and a miss by Hover. Now down 1-2 in the count. One, 2 count. Ball high, throws back to second base, and he'll be safe. That was a dangerous play.
Schaefer tried to catch Lindsley sleeping down off of second base, back picked him. Tag applied quickly by Logan Davidson, but Lindsley diving back to the bag in time.
2-2 count in the bottom of the 9th. Scores tied 1-1. Pitch is in. Ball 2 is high. Now a 2-2 count. The count now is 3-2. with 1 out in the bottom of the 9th. Pitches in from Little. Swing and a miss. Strike 3 is Harver for the 2nd out in the bottom of the 9th.
He saw one he liked. That fastball right at the levels, maybe on the outer half. Gave it a healthy hack, but came up empty.
Eric Rivera. Pinch hitting as well for the Harbor Hawks. Back-to-back pinch hitters. We also saw in the bottom of the 8th that they pinch ran. Didn't work out.
And how about this? Eric Rivera stepping to the plate. He has the lone walk-off for the Harbor Hawks this summer, and he's got a chance to make it too. Just a base hit away.
Here in the bottom of the 9th, the score is tied 1-1. First pitch of the at-bat from Little is in. In for a strike, just catches the outside part of the plate. Wind's starting to pick up here in Hyannis as the night goes on. Almost in darkness. Pitches in. That is a little blooper out to the first baseman. He will drop it. And a potential costly mistake for Falmouth. Looked like that was going to be the 3rd out of the inning. Must have gotten caught up in the lights.
I don't know what happened on that one. Sims having to come in a decent way for it, but it looked like he had a beat on it. Was a little caught in between turning his glove over and catching it underhand and just catching it out in front of him. He tried to make the catch out in front of him, but at a little bit of a weird angle and just hits off the heel of his glove. Rivera given a huge new life.
Rivera has new life. That probably should have been the 3rd out of the inning. Oh, pitch. Strike 3. Rivera getting enticed by that outside pitch. We will go to the top of the 10th. The score is still tied 1-1. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
.com.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Welcome back in the top of the 10th. Thomas still on the mound for the Harbor Hawks.
We've got a few defensive changes for the Harbor Hawks. Trevor Haver making his way out to right field. Braden Como moves over to short in place of Alec Trella, who was pinch hit for last inning by Eric Rivera, who's out of the game after he struck out to end the 9th. And now in its second Samford product, Taylor Garris.
Logan Foster now up for first pitch is in, swing and a miss. Second pitch is in for a strike. Down 0-2 quickly is Foster in the top of the 10th. 0-2 pitch to Foster. Just outside for a ball. Now 1-2. Here in the top of the 10th. Nobody out. 1-1. Pitch for Thomas back in the same spot. Will be called the same thing. Now 2-2. Foster is not going to swing at a pitch, not in the strike zone. Very patient hitter. 2-2 pitch. Just gets the end of the bat. Now it's 2-2. Two pitch. Ground ball to the shortstop. He has it. He'll throw it on the first for the first out. Como on the play.
Como wasting no time making the transition over from second to short. Fields the ball glove side, makes a pretty clean throw to first. No problem, 6-3 put out.
James Constantino now up to bat. First pitch is foul tipped into the catcher, but he'll catch it. Down 1-0 in the count quickly. Thomas trying to get out of this. 1-2-3 is. He got in a little trouble last inning, but was able to shut it down. Ball one just high. Page is able to jump up and catch it. One. Pitcher's in. A ball that was going to try to sweep into the strike zone continued to stay up. It's now 2-1. Two-one pitch. A ground ball to the second baseman. He has it. He'll throw it on the first just in time. Constantino with the wheels, but unable to be safe. Two gone in the top of the 10th.
Moves down the line pretty quickly, but Taylor Garris taking his time with it, knowing he had a short throw to first. And now there's two outs. But for the number 3 hitter, or for the top of the order, we should say, and Logan Davidson making his 5th plate appearance on the night.
Davidson up for Falmouth. Pitches the ball just in low. 2 quick outs in the top of the 10th. Game still tied 1-1 if you're joining us. Oh, pitch from Thomas. In for a strike now, 1-1 count. One pitch. Ball just outside. Looked like it caught the edge of the plate, but it did not. It's now 2-1. This game has been very good, probably the best of the season so far. 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss by Davidson. Now 1-2. Or sorry, 2-2. With 2 outs in the top of the 10th. 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Did not even try to throw it over to first as he tagged him. The Harbor Hawks will be up in the bottom of the 10th. Scores tie 1-1. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
You're listening to the Cape Cod Baseball League on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network. Let's get you back to the game.
Welcome back in the bottom of the 10th. Matthew Barefoot up to lead off. The Harbor Hawks back up trying to walk it off. This game was moving along very quickly the past couple innings. Have been a little slower. Little back out on the mound for the Harbor Hawks. Almost hit a couple of pitchers that are down there. They were just talking to the bullpen catcher, but the bullpen catcher was paying attention. One-0 pitch. Ball's just inside low. Now 1-1 to Barefoot. The leadoff man for the Harbor Hawks. Como on deck. Then after that, Wenzel. 1-1 pitch fouls it off just behind us. 1-2. One-two pitch. Ball in the dirt. It's stopped by Schaefer. But Barefoot did not swing. 2-2 count. Nobody out in the bottom of the 10th. 2-2 pitch. Ball three. The count now runs at full. 3-2. Barefoot's 3-2 pitch. That is a hit, and we'll get down in the gap. And that will be a leadoff single as it quickly is thrown in by the right fielder of Falmouth. And for the second straight inning of the leadoff man for the Harbor Hawks is on.
Matthew Barefoot continuing to stay hot in this young season, staying hot today. His third base knock of the night. That one out to right center field. That was drilled off the bat of Barefoot. It got in a fastball from Jack Little, I should say, middle away, and just torched it out to right center. And we know with his speed on first base, he could be taken off at any point.
Braden Como up to bat. First pitch is fouled off on a bunt. Down 0-1 in the count. One-0 pitch. Como does put a bunt down. The pitcher has it. He'll throw it on to first, and a great bunt by Como will advance the runner, a man on second, with one out for Davis Wenzel.
And the Harbor Hawks just continuing to get down their executions and follow them to the pinpoint. Braden Como, same spot as Pedro Pages in the previous inning, drops a bunt right down the first base line. The pitcher and Davis having to come in on it and field it glove side. Had no chance at a play at second, especially with the speedy Barefoot. Just turned about 20 degrees and made an easy toss to first.
Wenzel now up. First pitch is just in foul. Runner on second with one out in the bottom of the 10th. Harbor Hawks are trying to walk it off. Trying to get above 500. They sit at 4-4-1 currently. One-0 pitch. That is just foul. Wenzel's now down 0-2. Little so far this year has no ERA, pitched 1.3 of an inning. 0-2 pitch. Ball high. Wenzel did not swing at it. 1-2 pitch. Just foul. 1-2 count. Wenzel's 0 for 4 today. 1-2 pitch. Just foul. Wenzel staying in the count.
And Davis Wenzel 0 for his last 10. No better time to break that streak than right here.
Wenzel's pitch. That is a hit into the gap. That will get down, and that's going to do it here. The Harbor Hawks, for the second time in 2018, will walk off. The final score, 2-1 Hyannis. Lyle, what a great game.
What a great game. And Davis Wenzel taking that 2-strike fastball from Jack Little and sending it out to deep left center field. Wasn't a home run, but Stowers kind of trotted back on it and to his left, almost as if it was. Had no play on the ball. Barefoot trotted home easily all the way from second base. And the second walk-off of the year for the Harbor Hawks. And they get back above 500 and win a thriller at McKeon Park, Rob.
Absolutely, they sure do. A 2-1 final. Here, Wenzel was 0 for 4 in the day, coming up in a big spot, sends one in the gap, and puts this one away. The Harbor Hawks now are 5-4-1 on the season. And Lyle, what do you think was the key of today?
Starting pitching. No doubt about it. This game was deadlocked at 1 through 9 innings. I'm going to look right at Travis Marr. This was a guy that in his first start of the year gave up 8 earned in 3 innings pitched, and he comes back tonight, flushes that completely. 4 shutout innings, 3 strikeouts, just 2 hits, worked himself into and out of a couple of jams. He got himself into some trouble. There's no doubt about that. But what really impressed me about him is the way he was able to bear down, go right after these hitters, and get out of those jams.
Absolutely. Well, that is going to do us here for the call. We're going to go to a quick break, and then we're going to send it to the postgame show. It's Chris Lucey. We'll fill you in on everything else going on in the league, and then talking about tonight's game. We'll be right back here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks Digital Network.
Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright. Magic Works Media copyright.
What a finish from Hyannis. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back on the broadcast. Game number 10 on the season for the Harbor Hawks. An absolute thriller, a pitcher's duel until the very end, but Hyannis coming out on top in 10 innings, 2-1 on the game-winning RBI single from Davis Wenzel. I'm Chris Lucey, everybody. Robert Marcello, tonight's second half play-by-play man, joining me on the broadcast right now. And Robert, you were there. You had the headset on for that magic moment for Davis Wenzel. He came into that at-bat where he got the walk-off single with a 0 for 10 streak in the back of his head, but he didn't let that get in his way. What do you remember from the at-bat that really stuck out to you?
I really think just the hit, being able to shoot it out into the gap out in left center field. It seemed like that he was just he put his body that way, knowing that there was a big gap in between them. Just a great overall at bat by Wenzel. It's obviously frustrating for him to have 0 for 4 in the day and then 0 for 10. I think his slump is over.
Well, he ends it in grand fashion. A walk-off hit in McKeon Park in the 10th inning, a 2-1 victory for the Harbor Hawks over the Falmouth Commodores, solidifying that 4th spot in the Western Division. Now with 11 points are the Harbor Hawks, and Falmouth falls even farther out of it, now 7 points behind the last playoff spot in the Western Division. Again, I'm Chris Lucey. Robert Marcello joining me here on the post-game show for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. And Robert, Davis Wenzel stealing the headline at the end of the day, but we would be remiss if we didn't mention that Travis Marr, the starting pitcher today for the Harbor Hawks, had a huge bounce-back game after 8 hits and 8 earned runs and only 3 innings pitched in his season debut against Chatham. He throws 4 scoreless tonight, striking out 3, only allowing 2 hits. What really enabled him to turn it around today?
I think it just all came down to confidence for him. Usually when you get the first couple of outs in the game, you're confident. After the first inning, you start getting confident. Then after the second, it was just a great performance by Marr. I really think it was a comeback game for him.
The righty from Clemson pumping up the velocity as well. We hadn't seen that in his first game. He was really getting up there on the radar gun today, just looking like the ball was flying out of his hand, and a sign of things to come possibly from the big man out of Clemson. Hyannis taking this one 2-1. Marr will not be taking the win in this game because he was just not the pitcher of record after even a great game like that. This one ended up getting tied in the top of the 8th inning. We'll take a look at that right now. Hyannis just unable to help themselves really from the field as an E4 from Braden Como allowed the tying run in James Cosentino to come around to score off the single from Will Brennan. How did the Harbor Hawks maintain a cool demeanor after that? I mean, that was a real shoot yourself in the foot moment, and a lot of teams can't come back from that.
Those kind of things do happen, and unfortunately, for Falmouth, they're unable to get the win today, as I thought it was one of the better games that we've had so far this season on the call. Up to that first game of the doubleheader was very good with the walk-off. But I feel like this game was much better. A lot of really, really, really proud of this Harbor Hawks team. A lot of mental toughness today.
You need to be mentally tough to win in 10 innings in a summer league game after suffering a 3-3 tie the night before, called out due to fog, that one in Chatham, and it looked like it was in reach for the Harbor Hawks, but they had to settle for the tie out at Veterans Field. But the big storyline from the previous 2 games, if we can just take a look at the bigger picture here, Robert, is that the pitching is improving. Hyannis allowed only 4 hits yesterday, and in a full game tonight, they only allow 5 after allowing 9 to Wareham and then 10 to Katuitt in the previous 2 games. And between this game and then also yesterday's game in Chatham, they've allowed 4 earned runs. And in the last 2 games before that, 19. How have Harbor Hawks pitchers really been able to lock this down?
I really think this all comes down to confidence at the end of the day. When your pitchers aren't as confident, they don't pitch as well. But when they're confident, and I'm sure Ray Korn talked to them and just said, listen, let's just settle down, just get back to where we want to play. And they've just done that.
Ray Korn, the pitching coach for the Harbor Hawks. He is a veteran of the game of baseball. 50 years he's spent coaching pitchers, and looks like he's working a little bit of magic with the Harbor Hawks rotation, and someone really in no need of magic at this point
Absolutely.
is Matthew Barefoot, the leadoff hitter for Hyannis, as you see fireworks going off out in left center field. Fireworks on the field as well here at McKeon Park earlier tonight. A 2-1 extra innings victory for Hyannis. You're listening to me, Chris Lucey, and Robert Marcello break it down on the post-game show, but back to Matthew Barefoot. He had himself a great night tonight, a trio of hits, including scoring the winning run after leading off the bottom of the 10th with a base knock. He brings his average north of 300 once again, sitting at 346 with a 3-for-5 game tonight. He's looked very comfortable in that leadoff spot, Robert. What has enabled him to just completely hit the ground running out here in the Cape?
I think it's definitely the fact that he's be able to be a leadoff guy. You know, with leadoff guys, they really take pitches, work the count, be able to get hits when they can, and he's done a really good job.
Well, the senior out of Campbell University filling a big role for the Harbor Hawks right now, starting the bottom of the 10th off right for Hyannis and allowing Davis Wenzel to do the rest after Braden Como, of course. You can't forget the sacrifice bunt that put the runner in scoring position in the first place. Davis Wenzel, however, finishing the job for the Harbor Hawks and sending Hyannis into tomorrow's game against the Harwich Mariners, another home contest starting at 6 p.m. on a winning note. Robert, a big momentum boost for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks tonight with the win. They carry a little bit of that momentum from the Chatham tie last night against the A's. That was one of the best teams in the East, actually tied for first with the Harwich Mariners as we speak. How does Hyannis just continue to let this momentum snowball?
Well, I think they definitely can't keep feeding off of the good pitching lately. You know, obviously pitching wins a lot of games, especially in this league, but they have to score more runs, and I think maybe they can help out their pitchers a little bit more by scoring a couple more runs tonight.
Robert, thank you for joining me on the broadcast tonight, at least for the post-game show. You had the second half call, Robert Marcello. A walk-off win for Hyannis, 2-1 your final score. I'm Chris Lucey, wrapping things up here on the Hyannis Harbor Hawks post-game live. We'll take you through the rest of the Cape right now. Yarmouth, Dennis, and Harwich have wrapped up from Red Wilson Field in 8 innings, and it was a doozy. 12-1 the final score. Yarmouth Dennis hammering the Harwich Mariners, and you have to tip your cap to Reese Albert, a Florida State outfielder, having a big day for Yarmouth Dennis, driving in 3 runs for the Sox with a trio of hits as well. Reese Albert with a tremendous game for Yarmouth Dennis. Moving over to Stony Brook Field, the Katuitt Kettleers fall 4-5 to the Brewster Whitecaps. A big boost for the Harbor Hawks as Hyannis stealing 2 points tonight. They bounce up to 11 points. Now only 1 point behind Katuitt, who falls into third place, or possibly could fall into third place, actually, after this night, because the Bourne Braves currently lead the Chatham Anglers 6-5 down at Veterans Field. That's in the bottom of the 6th inning. Of course, Veterans Field, they get off to a 7 o'clock start nightly down there. So Hyannis with a chance to take third place. They actually have to play their cards right against the Harwich Mariners tomorrow night. If they want to do that, they'll remain in fourth for now because Katuitt will stay at 12 points, but Bourne with a chance to move up to 14 points and maybe tie with the Wareham Gatemen, because the Wareham Gatemen right now are knotted at 3 with the Orleans Firebirds in Eldridge Park. That now in the bottom of the 7th inning. Wareham will need to work a little bit of late game magic to maintain their perch atop the Western Conference. 14 points for the Gatemen, but Bourne edging to tie them right now with their lead over the Chatham A's in Chatham. We'll leave you with one more check of the final score here from Hyannis. 2-1 the final score. A walk-off victory for the Harbor Hawks, and a great point to dive off of tomorrow going into a 6 p.m. first pitch against the Harwich Mariners, currently tops in the Eastern Division, a team Hyannis got its first win of the season against right here at McKeon Park. So Hyannis in striking distance to stay in the playoff hunt here in the Western Division. And we'll have a full wrap on this one on our YouTube page shortly. You can catch that, the newest edition of Hawk Talk, coming after this game on YouTube, Hyannis Harbor Hawks, the same place where you found this broadcast. And then you can find post-game highlights, calls of the game, and interviews on SoundCloud. Just look up Hyannis Harbor Hawks, and you know what to do. Final score one last time here from McKeon Park, 2-1. Hyannis winning in 10 innings off the walk-off hit from Davis Wenzel. On behalf of the broadcast team, Robert Marcello, Lyle Goldstein, field reporter Dani Terzer, I'm Chris Lucey. Thank you so much and have a great evening.